Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at adirondackbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
Here at Lee Baldwin & Company, we're always doing the math. So we're asking everyone to take the 4% challenge. And here's how it works. You look at your savings, IRA, or other investment accounts and see if you're getting close to 4% interest on your cash. If not, just give us a call for a comparison of options available today. For your trouble, we'll offer you a cup of coffee for taking the time to hopefully have your money work harder for you. Oh, and don't forget to ask about even higher yielding CDs. Please call us at 315-734-1410, 315-734-1410, or visit our website at investtoday.com, investtoday.com. We're a member of FINRA and SIPC, and all our CDs are FDIC insured. So take the 4% challenge and have your money work harder for you. And as always, you do the dreaming and we'll do the math. investtoday.com.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning. It's almost like it's supposed to be, right? It's like April out. About 50 degrees. It's raining.
Isn't even this a little warmer than typical?
It might be. It might be. But did you see the forecast? Have you looked at the forecast?
Well, Wednesday, I just mentioned it at the top of the hour.
Friday 80, Saturday 78.
I like that you focus on the positive, Bill. That's very good.
Well, I mean, the week is going to be bad, but if we have another 80-degree day in April, isn't that shocking?
Yeah. Did you catch Wednesday, or are you just totally glossing over it?
The Wednesday, listen, we've had Mother's Day snowstorms, right? Don't we always talk about the
sandwich in between
great-
80-degree days?
the great Mother's Day snowstorms? This is an anomaly, and what we experienced here, so anything can happen. Although I will tell you, Tucker's backyard pools and spa. I just heard their commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I do their video and commercials and that sort of thing. So I was there on Monday taping for a new commercial, and they said, "Hey, you know, we have an opening. If you wanted, we'd open your pool up on Tuesday or Wednesday." So I said, "Huh. I've never opened. Can you imagine opening your pool in April in upstate New York?" So I said, "Why not?" So our pool was open all week.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And when temperatures are in the 80s, not just close to 80, but mid to upper 80s, we had warm temperatures.
Yeah, I text you. I don't know. I think it was Thursday or Friday, just to say, look, it's beautiful outside, and as much as I hate winter, I'm sweating in my car right now, and I'm not even moving. I don't like this.
You were complaining. It was unbelievable. So, we probably won't end up using it much until May. But we had 3-4 days. Even yesterday was a beautiful day. I mean, yesterday was up near 80 degrees.
Yeah, I prefer yesterday. There was a little bit of a breeze. I was outside.
There was some cloud cover that came through every once in a while, but wow. Now, what I find interesting is, so people are, you'll hear, well, you've paid all that money to open the pool for the month. I'm not going to put a bunch of chemicals in it in April. It'll probably be cold. And, you'll set the timer so the pump doesn't really run all that often. The water will be fine. And it's a hell of a lot less expensive than getting a hotel for a week in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Where it was cooler than here. In fact, for a couple of days, it was miserable there. And then you saw what happened in Florida, all the incredible flooding. They said they had, over a 24-hour period, 26 inches of rain.
Oh, my goodness.
That is unbelievable. I mean, that would be feet of snow if it happened up here. We'll get an update from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint on all of that coming up in a few minutes. But yes, it may change by Friday and Saturday, but right now we're calling for temperatures back up to the low 80s for Friday and Saturday.
Let's go.
Craziness, man. And I don't know, we've had days where in March, you got a stretch where temperatures would reach the 70s. We've had those weird things happen. I've never seen this happen before.
Yeah.
Mid to upper 80s.
Yeah. And it's not just a one-off, right? I mean, we had a build-up to it.
It was almost a week.
Yeah, and then we're going to have another build-up to it here. It looks like, Thursday 60, and then we jump
right
back up.
It's crazy. Okay, big news. Sadly, for the Utica City FC, they lost on Thursday. They came back to win a game on Sunday, and then they had that the way they do it is an odd playoff game.
Yeah, it's like a little
It's a mini game. It's short. It's one short period, and they lost that. I think 2-1 was the final. So their season comes to an end. But, man, those games were exciting, and I heard that I was not there Sunday, but even with beautiful weather on Sunday, the word was it was high intensity in a packed auditorium.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Very cool there. And the Comets have clinched a playoff spot, and they will be playing in the playoffs. What do we know right now, Davey? The first playoff game is going to be on the road on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, against Laval.
Then they will be back home for 2 games on Friday and Saturday. Well, we hope 2 games. It's a best-of-3 series.
Yeah, correct.
So hopefully they, it'd be nice if they won Wednesday and won Friday. But if there are 3 games, the final 2 will be at Utica at the Adirondack Bank Center. Friday night, 7 p.m. Saturday night, 7 p.m. if necessary. And tickets are now on sale for these games. So that's pretty cool. Are you surprised to see where Edwards is going to West Virginia? Anybody on that?
I'm a little.
Well, the fact that he's going alone, the fact that he's going is a surprise, but it's the way the system works today, right?
He was looking at Gonzaga too in Kansas, but
yeah.
A little shocked that he took West Virginia, Big 12. He's in Big 12 country now.
And then big news yesterday with Hamilton College. It turns out to be another, I guess we'd call this another swatting incident.
Yeah, probably.
It looks like the reports of an armed gunman, an armed assailant on campus, and everybody to shelter in place. It looks like there never was an armed assailant.
Yeah, they never observed or located anybody who was armed or injured. Ultimately, I've got to check the time, but I want to say it was around 9 p.m., shortly before 9:30, excuse me. The Hamilton College Emergency Alert System sent out a new message saying it was all clear, indicating the shelter-in-place had ended. It's believed that the reports earlier were unfounded. The investigation is continuing. My understanding is it's being handled primarily by state police and Kirkland PD. But again, we saw this over a series of high schools, and I want to say, I hope I'm wrong, but if my memory serves me correctly, this isn't the first time that this has happened at Hamilton. I can't think of a time in the last couple of weeks when all the high schools were getting the phony threats.
Yeah.
But I want to say previously there have been unfounded reports at Hamilton regarding that Kerner Johnson building and somebody being armed on campus. It's, I don't know, sign of the times.
Yeah, we've it's a sign of the times. It's almost become a trend. It's shocking to say that, but it's the truth. It's what is happening on campuses and on high school campuses as well around the country.
I don't want to say if it's done at a high school because there's a big test on Friday that justifies it. Certainly that's not what I'm saying. But on a Sunday afternoon, it's not like they were trying to get out of a test, right? What are you just bored?
So there's legislation being proposed that would stiffen the penalty for crimes like this, for reporting false crimes. The penalties for people who are caught would be increased. Here's the problem with that: we're not catching anybody.
You don't know who it is, correct?
We haven't caught anybody.
Yeah,
that's pretty scary. That's showing you can use a you can what is it called, a VPN. You can hop on a network and it'll basically show. And it might hop a couple times. You could hop a couple times, so it's even more difficult to find someone. It may very well show you're in, you're overseas somewhere. Most likely that's what it would show. So it's almost impossible, even for the federal government, to track these people down.
Yeah, it's a scary time. I want to say in some cases with the high schools, there are reports that maybe the federal government is getting involved to take a look at this. Yeah. I don't know for sure, but you're right. It becomes a scary thing when they say that they can protect your location and your identity, and certainly they do a good job at doing that. But when it comes to these threats, I just don't understand the point. I really don't. People are bored. I just don't know what else.
Mike says, I was telling my wife over the weekend, while it's wonderful to have 4 or 5 days of incredibly high temperatures, I'd love to be able to take one of these days, shrink wrap it up, and be able to open it up in the middle of December when we've had a couple of weeks of terrible weather, the Arctic weather, and continuous cloudy days. That is the truth. We go weeks at a time where it seems like the sun doesn't even shine.
Yes.
And then you get 5 days of basically pure sunshine, blue skies, and warm temperatures. Just crazy. Now, will this be any indication of what we're going to see this summer? Is it going to be, it's the Farmer's Almanac reporting a hotter and drier summer for us this summer, whether or not that holds true. But it certainly is if this is any indication, we're in for a hot summer.
Let's just do the upper 70s thing, though. I don't
that.
need the upper 80s.
I can handle it
with you.
Completely with you. All right, coming up, Dave, you want to try to grab Craig Flint? Do you have his number? Yeah, grab him. We'll get him. I'd like his take on what has happened on the program today. We'll give you a chance to win Hobica's free money question of the day. There's only 2 weeks remaining at Fat Cats Comedy Club in Washington Mills. The final 2 weeks. And we'll have tickets for you to give away today for this weekend's show. Kevin Dombrowski is the headlining comedian this weekend. And then Gemini, who's a comic that does a whole thing. Includes he does magic. He does ventriloquism. He's a legendary comedian. Gemini Lombardo will be in. And both of these guys will be in studio coming up. From Fat Cats Comedy Club. And over the weekend, what a weekend and a Friday morning with Bob DeBono.
Yeah, well, he was so much fun Friday morning. Unfortunately, I didn't make it out to the show this weekend, but I heard from several people that they had a great time. Smitty, I think you were there, right?
Yeah, I went Saturday night. I laughed so hard I was hurting after I got out.
Painful, isn't it, Davey? It's so painful.
His Trump is so spot on.
That Trump impersonation is something.
And it's funny because when we had him in the studio, you would have got a kick out of this. We're talking to him, and he's Trump, and we're having a little fun with him. And then, I don't know if we got a call or we had a guest, but when we transitioned back to him, he literally took his MAGA hat off, put on, I don't know, what kind of hat? Oh, you weren't here Friday. I forget what kind of a hat he had. A San Francisco Giants hat on. And I asked him a question, and he answered it like, Bob DeBono, the comedian, and started talking about his background. He literally switched hats to do it. It was funny.
It's tough to keep track of those personalities, I would imagine. Meteorologist Craig Flint with WTR and Fox 33 on the line now. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys today?
How in the world did what just happened to us happen? It's just crazy with this weather.
Yeah, little bit early.
Yeah.
Little kind of taste of summer with temperatures in the 80s over the weekend. It's definitely going to revert back to normal weather, normal April weather this week. But temperatures are still kind of going to go up and down as we go through the next several days here. We start off this morning with some wet weather. That'll be tapering, maybe a little bit more in the way of clearing later. But it's not going to be 80 today.
Yeah.
But it was a great weekend.
Wow, it was incredible. I mean, you think about just the fact that we don't normally see blue skies. There was one point I looked up in the sky and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Maybe a few chemtrails from airplanes, but there was not a cloud in the sky. And then, Craig, despite the fact that we're going to be cooler this week, it seems like by the end of the week we warm right back up to near 80 degrees again.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to get warm again, especially by Friday, and then temperatures are kind of going to go back down, we think, as we go into next weekend. But kind of on the upswing again this week. We'll see if we get to 80, but at least 70 degrees, if not in the 70s, again by Friday.
That's just pretty. If you add another 80-degree day in April, that is just so unheard of for us up here. I mean, Craig. I remember a summer when this was quite some years ago, but I remember a summer where we barely had any 80-degree days all summer long. It was just one of those more cloudy and cooler summers. We just didn't have great weather. And to get 3 or 4 of them in the month of April is just incredible. And then what happened with that rain in Florida? That just was incredible in Tampa Bay.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's some 26 inches of rain. That is a biblical flood. I think they called it, at least 1,000-year flood. So that won't be happening again for a long time. But there was a lot of meteorology behind that one. Just had to do with sea breezes and a weather front down there in different wind direction that really kind of just made those thunderstorms just put the brakes on over Fort Lauderdale. So that was the reason for that. And yeah, for our weather locally, yeah, it was a little early for this type of weather.
Well, the other thing that I think, I try to remember these things and document them so I have it right. But it seems like the leaves, because of that warmer weather, the budding on the trees seems to be happening a little earlier than normal right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're starting to see green on the trees.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially, this week, too, as we get a little bit of rain, which good, we need the rain. That literally helps as a cleanser in the atmosphere. So a lot of allergies have been springing up with the trees budding earlier.
Yeah.
And there's actually a pretty good study. I was just looking at it this past week about the growing season. I believe you asked me this a couple weeks ago about the growing season getting longer, and I looked into that. And we've actually added a week to the growing season over the last 30 years was the time frame I looked at. So they do it in 30-year chunks. And we've added almost a week to the growing season.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Doesn't sound like much over 30 years.
It doesn't.
But
well, and I got to say that when the fact is, watching people outside and outdoors and cleaning up their yards this past weekend, it was pretty darn incredible. But the fact is, my daughter's birthday is on Memorial Day weekend, so we always try to do an outdoor birthday party for her. And normally that's like, finally we're outside.
Yes.
But there have been Memorial Day weekends where it has been frigid. You can't do it outside.
We would, same here. By the way, that's when my birthday is.
Right.
So we'd cook out outside and bring the food in.
Yeah,
and you'd have something inside.
Yeah, because it's chilly. Now, the thing that I would say, Craig, and I believe you are saying, we could go back to normal and have a cold Memorial Day weekend still. That's still in the cards. Potentially.
It's still in the cards, but let's not wish that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Let's try and throw this weather into that weekend.
It would extend our summer season by at least a month or two. It would be pretty nice. So, all right. Well, it's always nice to be a meteorologist when the weather is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I can kind of put my feet up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, great. It was a great weekend, kind of going back to normal this week, but we're still kind of up and down here. And we start off a little damp today, but that'll be tapering off.
All right, Craig, enjoy your week. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, guys.
Have a great day. Craig Flint, meteorologist from WUTR and Fox 33 TV.
So a couple of things. One, you talked about the budding. Now, this rain that we got last night brought in some cooler air, and I'm telling you, I slept like a baby. Oh, it was
nice.
It was beautiful. Interesting in that when I got up this morning, he talked about that washing away. Well, now with everything budding right now, the roads are covered with those little green things you'd typically see in mid-May.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. When you get up this morning, if you're heading out to work or just to the grocery store,
you'll be wiping them off with your windshield wipers.
They'll be all over your car, and they're all over the road. I could not believe how much debris I saw on the road today, and it's the, for lack of a better term, just the buds, the spring, the greens starting to come to life, and then it gets washed off and it spreads around. But, I just was shocked. It was covering the road in my car this morning from the rain we got overnight.
Hey, we'll take it, right? We'll take it.
Yes. Beggars can't be choosers. We'll take nice weather anytime.
I'll keep it going with some other stuff going on in the world. An Oregon man wanted to bless others. You know how some people just come up with an idea, they want to do something really nice, but they don't think it through. Like maybe the idea could be done a different way. An Oregon man wanted to bless others, so he took $200,000 out of his bank account and started throwing it out of his vehicle on a busy highway in order to bless others. Now, the problem with that is that doesn't seem too safe.
No, did somebody die getting hit by a car?
Some drivers were happy, but apparently others were not. Others, and including the man's family members, who are also attached to the bank account, are asking for the money back. Here are a couple of witnesses and a police dispatcher. They had to be called to the scene. It was mayhem. But now the family members of this Oregon man, they want the money back. here's what everybody is saying about, can I play that clip? I guess I can't play the clip. I'll play in a bit, but as you might imagine, he's not in any legal trouble since technically his name was on the account, but the others on the account, they are not happy. They'd like that money back.
Okay, I have two thoughts on that. The first being, if someone asked, well, $200,000 and you're throwing it out in traffic like that, just basically letting it fly out of your car, isn't that dangerous? And I think his answer was, survival of the fittest, baby. Only the strong survive. The second thing is...
That's right. If you can get out, get that money as much as you can without being hit, congratulations.
The other thing is, for the idea that he's not in legal trouble, I understand what you're saying about the bank account, but isn't this the almost exact analogy of yelling fire in a crowded movie theater? You're having people run out into traffic to pick up money?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not in any legal trouble for that.
And then on a local story, what's your take on the Boilermaker announcement where because of road work, they're having to move the course. They're keeping it, I believe it's kept the exact same distance for the most part.
Sure, yeah,
but the course moves just a little bit.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is it's toward the end. As you come down Champlin, as the road bends, you go past the hospital. There's a fitness place there. There's the plaza. And then you go into, what is that, Yorkville. I think the sign says Yorkville. Instead of going all the way down to Whitesboro and making the right, I believe they're going to send you off to make that right a block or two up, maybe it's like 4 blocks up. But you won't be going all the way down to the Stewarts to make the right. You'll be cut a little earlier. Obviously, they'll have security and fans will be lining that area, so hopefully nobody goes blazing past that. But yeah, it's going to be the exact same 9.3 still. 15K. I'll say 15K because I think it's 9.3 if it's 9.1.
And Ted Nugent has announced that he is he's giving his final tour. He's doing his final tour, his final performances. He says that the title he's given is the title of his tour will be Adios Mofo. Wonder what that means. He also mentioned that he will be jumping off the amps and swinging on ropes. Those days are coming to a quick end. He doesn't have, at his age, although he's in really good shape, he just doesn't have it in him anymore.
I'm checking to see how old he actually is. 74. You know, by the
and he's in really good shape, though.
He is in good shape, and by the standards of some rockers, he's going to bed kind of early, isn't he?
By the standard of many, he really is, when you think about it.
I mean, some of these guys are on tour into their 80s.
Unbelievable. Doing rock. And they still have the long hair. And, look at the Rolling Stones. Craziness.
They're smoking joints behind the stage.
Just
84.
Craziness. All right, a quick break. We'll come right back. It's a Monday morning. A little more normal weather. Some rain and temperatures right about 50 here. 6:45 at WIBX.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
Broadway Utica presents My Fair Lady, May 1st and 2nd at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org or call 315-724-4000.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Hey, listen, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic and accepting new patients right now. If you're looking for a new family doctor or a new primary physician, call them today. They are accepting new patients. Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, and others, all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. Have you been tested for hepatitis C? It's prevalent in baby boomers, and today it's 100% curable. You may be dealing with a host of different symptoms, including fatigue and aches and pains. Dr. Shemileski is Hep C certified. Call today at 315-507-4751 or visit them online at falconclinic.com. The Falcon Clinic. Call today, 315-507-4751, accepting new patients right now.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
So it is, let's see, is today the Boston Marathon? I believe it is today, yeah. Today is, what is it called? Patriots Day.
Yes.
In Massachusetts. And tomorrow is tax day. Tomorrow is tax day.
Have they pushed it back an extra day?
Well, I believe it's because the 15th fell on a Saturday, and you wouldn't do tax day on a Saturday.
Right.
And today is, we must be reporting this year to Massachusetts, if I have this right. Today is Patriots Day there, so all the offices are closed, and there's no mail in Massachusetts today, and therefore tax day is tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, so that you get the extra day thanks to Boston.
I believe so. I believe that's it, and it's Boston Marathon Day in Boston. That's 8:30 this morning. Thank you, Davey. We'll talk to Tiny J. Powers. That also means that this is the 10-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. It occurred, hard to believe it was 10 years ago today.
I know. It's amazing how time goes by so fast. A couple of the things that I remember the most from that was the hunt afterward. I can remember being glued to the television. It was like this was before, I want to say, we talked about drones all the time, but there was some type of either helicopter or something doing, shots above the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like we were, like you felt like you were part of the actual search for that remaining Tsarnaev brother. Ultimately, he was found, hiding in a boat in a neighborhood?
I believe that's what it was, yeah.
I just remember being glued to the TV for that nonstop. And then the other thing is that the impact that I felt like it had here was it led to significantly upgraded security measures for our race, of course, the Utica Boilermaker, where things like, I believe that's where the no longer on the roof stuff started.
Right.
And like they said, your media, you've been here for 10 years or how long you've been there, you need to have your identification or you are not getting past that entry line, period. We're not debating it. I don't care if I know you from TV, radio, newspaper, whatever.
You got to have it.
You got to have it. And that was those are certainly good things because obviously awful things happen when security becomes lax.
So and it's funny because I remember people saying, well, we're not Boston. Things like that don't happen here.
Right.
Well, they do, and we found that they happen anywhere this day and age. I mean, look at the shooting that occurred in Herkimer and Mohawk down there some years ago. That's been about 10 years since that occurred. And did you see the story out of Pulaski? A swimmer ended up being swept down the Salmon River on Saturday after jumping in the water. The 28-year-old man was stranded in the middle of the river and clutched onto a log, and that's how he was able to survive until rescuers were able to get him. It's near the Black Hole Fishing Access at 48 Riverview Drive in Pulaski, according to Trooper Jack Keeler. The man was trapped on a log dam when troopers and firefighters arrived at the river. The river's current was so strong that he just could not get to shore.
Wow.
Yeah. I again, you come down to those moments where you have a decision to make. It's like, I can do this, and then all of a sudden you can't.
Yeah, I'm never the first one to hop in those situations. I'm like, all right, if
You
you
let
can do
somebody
it,
else do
maybe I can, and if I can't, maybe you can save me. But I'm usually not the first one to hop in there. No.
I mentioned Ted Nugent announcing his final tour. Here he is, actually talking about the fact that it's all coming to an end. The singer and rocker, best known for big hits, including songs like Cat Scratch Fever. Here we go.
This is adios, mofo. This is my last tour. Thank you, everybody, for an incredible musical dream. This will be the greatest, most intense, tightest, most dynamic, outrageously fun tour of my life. But adios, mofo. Here's a good adage. I think it was Dirty Harry 71. A good man has to know his limitations.
Interesting. You know that he's also very political.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've had him on the air a couple of times.
Yes.
Extremely conservative, and knows how to live off the grid.
Yes.
Knows how to live off the wildlife and live off shooting animals and eating.
I was going to say, if you've ever been, and certainly none of us have, if you ever get invited to Ted Nugent's house for a steak or a burger, certainly it's not like, hey, did you get this down at the supermarket? No, he went out in the backyard and he found it himself. That's where he got that meat from. He didn't get it on at a special at Price Chopper or Walmart. He went and hunted it himself. You can guarantee that.
Let's see, Mike. This morning, elites will not necessarily like the change to the Boilermaker course. More road turns means slower times. Unlikely having a new course record and additional prize money. So there will be additional turns, even though it's the same distance. Those additional turns will not make for probably the fastest finish times.
Yeah, that's a good point. One that I think often you don't think of. Right, more turns probably means slower time. Yeah.
And this was interesting at I believe it was a Lowe's. Employees building bars to help kids with cerebral palsy. A Lowe's employee out of Delaware is getting praised for building parallel bars on the spot for a family of a child who has quadriplegic spastic cerebral palsy. Here's Dave Urban talking about why he did what people are calling a good deed and how fulfilling it was to help William Getty have the tools needed to learn how to walk. Here we go.
I thought I would just be finding some fittings, making a couple cuts, and then I saw Will. I found out what we're building. Then came the test. Will got up out of his wheelchair and grabbed hold of those bars. And I think you saw that courageous smile of his, just the sense of pride, and it keeps getting me.
Tearing up. Another good story today is Southwest Airlines gate agent at Oakland International Airport honored a World War II veteran by getting everyone together to sing God Bless America. Here's the moment.
Wait, on the plane?
I believe it was in the terminal. Here's the moment.
No, there's no way everybody agreed to do this.
Here's the moment that the Southwest employees and passengers finished off the song to the 100-year-old veteran. Here we go. There you go. That was very nice.
That is a beautiful thing.
You're shocked that everyone would do it.
I mean, wouldn't you be? There's always somebody fighting or objecting or protesting or offended about something. They all came together and sang for a veteran.
You think they'd be obsessed? They would be offended by this? And if they were, all they'd have to do is just stay quiet, right?
They're offended by everything.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad I'm glad that so many people participated in that. I did chuckle though at the end. Who was the guy shouting out "one more time"?
I think that was the ticket agent. He was organizing the whole.
Was he
keeping
doing the hands and everything?
He was keeping everybody going. Yeah. Very nice. And a substitute teacher in Texas. I have one more for you. This one's not such a good story. A substitute teacher in Texas may be facing legal trouble after turning her middle school classroom into a fight club. The only reason she was caught is because a student took video of the incident. Here's one of the parents of one of the students at the class, Beatrice Martinez, explaining how she feels about exactly what happened. Here we go.
I was devastated. I was like, I couldn't watch the full video. I had to stop it multiple times because I didn't think it was real. I said, this must be a prank. This is not real. Who in their right mind? Because I trust my child to go to school, but I also trust the staff to keep my kids safe.
Right. I mean, Fight Club.
That's outrageous. I mean, it was an actual fight?
It was pure mayhem, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Again, that goes back to, thankfully, there are people out there that come up with clever ideas and don't think them through. Because without them, we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
And the fact that she's facing charges, yeah, she probably should. But how about, where's the story that says was immediately fired, has had her teaching license suspended? Come on.
My guess is she probably is, and she's facing legal troubles. In Sarah's Flooring Outlet is the area's leading flooring store for Pergo Extreme by Mohawk, and whatever it is in terms of flooring. If you're looking for flooring, there's only one spot. The largest selection in the area. And with Pergo Extreme, there's the lowest price guarantee on Pergo Extreme. And Sarah's will beat anyone's price on Pergo Extreme within a 60-mile radius of the store. And the store, by the way, is located in their all-new Route 49 Plaza, which is right down the street from us, right here on River Road in Marcy. The largest inventory in Central New York. Sign up for a coupon off their website, good for $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. Click on the top of their website, and sarahsflooringoutlet.com is the site. And you can get 6 months interest-free financing right now for your flooring. It is the largest inventory and the best prices. It's flooring. At Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
A field trip to New York City. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. For House Republicans on the Judiciary Committee, holding a hearing this morning targeting progressive Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Chairman Jim Jordan just told Fox they'll be
hearing from victims, hearing from families who've been impacted by this soft on crime policy. You know, it turns out when you don't put bad guys in jail, they do bad things. When you don't lock criminals up, you get more crime. Imagine that. And that is exactly what we're seeing.
It comes after former President Trump pled not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records related to alleged hush money payments, which Republicans call political prosecution, while Democrats and a rep for Bragg call the hearing a political stunt. Bragg suing Representative Jordan, claiming an unconstitutional attempt to undermine the case.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The U.S. went on the attack in Syria today, targeting ISIS militants. U.S. Central Command says in a statement the helicopter raid led to the probable death of a senior ISIS leader who planned terror attacks in the Middle East and Europe. 2 other armed individuals were also killed. A call for the public's help, searching for those responsible for Saturday night's shooting in Deedville, Alabama.
If you are at home right now or you know somebody
that has any information.
Please come forward, says Alabama law enforcement agency Sergeant Jeremy Burkett. It happened at a dance studio.
Just north of Montgomery, 4 people were killed, at least 28 others hurt. The victims, said to be mostly teenagers, were attending a birthday party when the shooting began.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty, the 16-year-old birthday girl's brother, was among those killed. It's Marathon Day in Boston.
This year's race also marks the 10th anniversary of the 2013 bombing that killed 3 and hurt hundreds more. On Saturday, the date of the bombing, remembrance events were held at memorial sites for the families who lost loved ones in the attack, with honor guards of first responders from the Boston area. One of those events was a dedication of the new commemorative finish line with the ringing of bells.
That's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're in the market for a new firearm, well, you're not going to do better than one made by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. And by the way, you're looking for something light and easy to transport, you got to check out their U.S. Survival Rifle. Now, you can take it apart, put it back together in seconds when you need to. It's compact, so you can carry it everywhere, only 3.5 pounds, just 16 inches when it's disassembled. Now, it comes in black and 3 types of camo, and it's affordable. You can pick one up from between $250 and $400, depending on the finish. And like all Henry firearms, they're made in the U.S., and they're backed by a lifetime satisfaction guarantee. As a matter of fact, you can watch a few video reviews. Just go to henryusa.com/survival. That's henryusa.com/survival. And while you're there, make sure you order your free catalog. You get free decals, over 200 models to choose from. You can't go wrong with any of them. henryusa.com. Get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. Check out the U.S. Survival Rifle.
Still raining, 49 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. This news update is brought to you by Shop My Carl's today for the lowest prices, no credit needed financing, and fast same-day delivery. New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. The all clear given late Sunday night after authorities searched the campus of Hamilton College. This followed what appears to be unfounded reports of an armed assailant on the campus last evening. The report said the assailant was seen near the Kerner Johnson building. All on campus were put under a shelter-in-place for several hours while the campus was searched. The investigation into the incident is continuing. Nearly 3 weeks after the April 1st deadline, Governor Kathy Hochul and state lawmakers still have yet to reach a deal on a new state budget. The governor says progress is being made toward reaching a final agreement, but talks continue on important issues like bail reform and affordable housing. The legislature will need to pass another budget extender today to keep the government running and make sure that state workers are still getting paid. Last year's state budget was 9 days late. The search for witnesses is underway after a deadly weekend motorcycle crash in Madison County. It happened on Saturday. Robert Walker was traveling on Route 13 in the town of Lenox. Police say his motorcycle collided with an SUV. Walker was seriously injured, and his passenger, 42-year-old Alicia Walker, was killed in the accident. Anyone who saw the incident is asked to contact the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Another Powerball drawing has come and gone without a winner, so the jackpot has risen once again. You need 6 winning numbers. The winner of tonight's drawing will receive at least $235 million. The odds of actually winning the top prize are just 1 in 292 million. The price of a ticket is $2. Tonight's drawing will be streamed online at Powerball.com. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. A bit of a cool-off here as we start the new work week. Showers continuing, possibly a thunderstorm before noon today. We do have a chance of rain showers again this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy. Today's high 56 degrees. Showers likely tonight between 7 and midnight. Overnight, mostly cloudy, a low falling back into the upper 30s. Boy, that'll feel like a shocker coming off an 85-degree weekend. Showers likely again Tuesday, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high of 48. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and a high of 47. The previous last hour, there was a mention of some snow showers possible Wednesday morning. That is gone now. Wednesday's high 47. Partly sunny on Thursday, and we warm it back up to 63 degrees. Right now, some rain, 49. WIBX News Time is 7:06. All right, in sports, NBA playoffs got underway this weekend. The Knicks picking up a win early, and they look to take a 2-0 series lead against the Cleveland Cavaliers when they play in Cleveland for Game 2 tomorrow night. The Nets looking to avoid a 2-0 deficit as they take on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight in Pennsylvania. The Islanders' quest for a cup begins tonight. New York visits the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1 of their best-of-7 first-round series. A pair of Metropolitan Division rivals square off in the first round as the Devils will host the Rangers for Game 1 of their best-of-7 series coming up tomorrow night. Local hockey, the Utica Comets do make the playoffs, and their playoff push is about to get underway. They take on the Laval Rocket in the opening round. They will play at Laval on Wednesday and come home on Friday and Saturday. Saturday is an if-necessary game. It is a best-of-3 series. The Comets are the home team, so they play on the road Wednesday and possibly 2 at the Adirondack Bank Center coming up this weekend, but they will definitely play on Friday. Utica City FC saw its season come to an end in an extra game on Sunday afternoon at the Adirondack Bank Center. After tying the series at 1 game apiece, a mini game was squeezed in, but unfortunately, Utica City FC came up short, losing 2-1 to Milwaukee. Elsewhere in sports, the Yankees and Garrett Cole continue to power through the early season schedule. Cole now 4-0. He struck out 10 and surrendered just 2 hits in a complete game shutout as the Yankees beat the Twins by a final of 2-0. The Mets complete a 4-game sweep of the Oakland A's. The final on Sunday was 4-3. What else here? Tommy Pham, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso each went deep with solo home runs. The Mets now second in the NL East with a record of 10-6. They visit the LA Dodgers for Game 1 of a 3-game series later tonight.
All right, and Brett Beatty has been playing and knocking it out of the stadium in Syracuse, right?
Yeah, he got called up to the big league.
Yeah, he'll be in New York. Well,
no,
and they'll be in LA tonight.
Yep, and Scherzer went down too.
So Scherzer
he
was
was
having a little bit of pain, although they think he'll be pitching by Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. We have a big announcement coming this morning at 7:40. An announcement at 7:40 this morning, and we're going to let Davey help us make that announcement. It's a big one, Davey. It's a big one.
Don't say anything yet, bud.
It's a biggie. Yeah, don't say it now. That's why we're doing it at 7:40. But at 7:40, we will announce a little something special.
You want to go to Mr. Syracuse on one?
I will.
Jesse, real quick.
Scott in Kirkville standing by on the line right now. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, by the way, belated Happy Easter.
Thank you. Yeah, Happy Easter.
Only 8 days late. Good job, man.
Well, yeah, but
better late than never.
I was watching the 10 Commandments. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I just think it's amazing how tablets have come so far.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's amazing, but I'm not sure when you went up on the mountain that day that the Wi-Fi was going to work back then. But
you're on fire this morning. Yeah. Killing it.
Also, the eggs are so expensive. When they had a couple of Easter egg hunts, I heard that some people put the eggs on their homeowners' insurance just in case they weren't found or stolen. So it's.
You should start while you're ahead. I should say, stop while you're ahead.
I won't swing at the curveball down in the dirt.
Right.
I'll just wait for the 0 for 2. But anyway, guys, I assume you guys have heard about Jesse Edwards going to West Virginia.
Yeah, that boy, and seeing this team just broken up is a shame because I feel like I really feel like Boeheim was on the road. Doing he had a really good team that was put together. That next year I was excited to see how they would play together, thinking maybe next year would be Boeheim's last year. But of course that all blew up.
Yeah, the interesting part is I don't know, there's money floating around, so I don't know if you guys have been found or not. But I mean, the incredible prices that you're hearing that Jesse might have gotten $700,000 to go to West Virginia now. The era of basically people just signing. I understand that there's some connection to the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks to West Virginia. I don't know if he's an ex-alumni or what, but it sounds like he's setting them up. And I don't know why you go to West Virginia. I don't know what. I mean, why would West Virginia want to pay $700,000 to a center that I don't think it's going to put him over the top? I mean, it's not like they. just to me, that's astronomical to pay anybody, but somebody that basically I don't think it's going to help them actually win the tournament.
A lot of people feel that Jesse Edwards just didn't have the upper body strength. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then what about the what's the guy's name there?
Adam Weissman.
Weitzman.
That's
huge
interesting
news.
there too. I think I assume you followed he's the one that brought all these celebrities in to Syracuse. I remember he brought Tom Brady in and Jamie Fallon. Well, what happened was he brought in a recruit, and this is where it's getting a little shady now. He's a recruit. He's not officially in Syracuse. Flew him up on this private plane and sat him there. He brought a couple of, I think, rap artists with him too, and the perception didn't look too good. And remember, Syracuse has been on.
They've been in trouble before.
On kind of probation, so it didn't look that good. I think they asked him to back off a little bit, and then basically, I guess he's really backing off.
Well, he became. I would think we said this last week that if you're the chancellor of the university, you're kind of uncomfortable with this guy who's deciding now he's going to build a team. All of a sudden, he's become your recruiter. That to me, the school just can't let happen. So
and that's what exactly, Bill. And this is what the problem is about paying players, but now recruiting players because technically, now that's actually getting someone to come to Syracuse. Now it's different than the transfer portal and somebody's already out there and it's almost free agency now.
Right. Yep.
And it's getting that way. It's just not Syracuse. I mean, you see all these players going. I mean, the big one. Remember the Miami situation, which ended up in the Final Four.
Yep.
They got the guy from Kansas State for $840,000.
Yeah, it's really they're changing the entire sport.
Here's my question, Scott.
I got to move quickly because I've got Tanya waiting.
I'm sorry.
Scott, it changes the they're completely changing the sport, and you're going to have a whole bunch of great teams, and then a bunch of teams that can't compete.
Right, and the other thing is it's supposed to help you keep your players. Like Babcock from North Carolina, technically he's making $1 million, and he would have probably gone to the NBA if somebody didn't pay him $1 million. So that's what I thought people were trying to do is keep their players. But it's gone the opposite way, guys. It's crazy.
Scott, as always, thank you, man. Have a wonderful week. Thanks.
You too.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News standing by. Today marks the 10th anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. Tanya, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I guess, the hard to believe it's been 10 years, but I'll say it. It is surprising. It's been 10 years, but for me, it almost feels like it was longer than 10 years. That was a very difficult day and a long day in Boston.
Yes, to be clear, the day was marked on Saturday in Boston.
Okay.
The Boston Marathon bombing. It's called One Boston Day, and that is when that was the actual anniversary. The date of the marathon and the date of the bombing don't always fall on the same day. Saturday was the date of the actual bombing date, April 15th.
Okay.
And so they had a couple of memorial events on Saturday for One Boston Day. They also redid the finish line. If you've never actually gotten to go to Boston and see the finish line of the marathon, it stays there. The yellow kind of fades through the year, but you can still see it there on Boston Street. But that's how they marked this over the weekend. Today is the marathon. About 30,000 athletes are going to participate in this from about 100 countries. It's the 127th running of the marathon, and like you said, the 10th anniversary of the one where 3 people were killed and hundreds were hurt at the bombing near the finish line.
So, we have a big road race here called the Boilermaker, and it has changed. That what occurred on that day has shown that anything can be considered a soft target, and it's changed the security and the way that people run events today.
It really has. I mean, after that is when we started really paying more attention to, law enforcement press conferences,
Right.
and things that law enforcement would come out and say before a huge event where there were going to be a lot of people, like they do here before
The New York City
Thanksgiving
Marathon.
parade, and the New York City Marathon and New Year's Eve. I mean, we always hear about, what are security protocols being handled? Like, do they expect any threats? Have there been anything the public needs to know about ahead of time? That did change a lot. We started paying way more attention to that.
Yeah, and it does make you wonder. I think the big shock out of the Boston bombing was the age of the two kids. They were kids.
Are you talking about Martin Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Martin Richard, who was 8, I believe he was 8.
No. I'm talking about the actual bombers. They were.
You're talking about, I thought you were talking about the victims. Yeah, these were the brothers, the Tsarnaev brothers.
Yeah.
I actually was at the trial for him the first couple of days of the trial, which was a federal trial. There were no cameras in the courtroom. No audio we could not record any audio. I was in one of the overflow courtrooms that the press was able to sit in, then watch the thing on closed captioning with the testimony and the opening arguments and everything. And some of the testimony that I heard from the people who were hurt in that, who had lost limbs and, were no longer able to walk and had undergone, at that point, numerous surgeries already, and that was in 2015. Their stories are just phenomenal. One of them, from Rebecca Gregory, by the way, she lost part of a leg and have had so many surgeries in the 10 years since that happened. Her husband is actually running the marathon in tribute to her today for the 10th anniversary.
Wow. It is these events. It's amazing how living in a free society, how difficult it is to keep everyone safe if there are people out there willing to commit evil. It's very difficult, especially in cities like New York and in Boston. So, Tanya, we appreciate it as always. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Have a great day, Tanya. J. Powers from Fox News.
So the younger brother there that you referenced, Dzhokhar, is that how we were saying it? Tsarnaev was 19 when the incident happened. The older brother was 26, and I had forgotten this particular part of the story, but the Tamerlan Tsarnaev was actually killed after the two brothers got into a shootout with police. And part of the reasons, some of his injuries included being run over by the younger brother as he tried to flee in a vehicle.
Right.
And that's kind of what led to his death. I had forgotten that part of the story as to that's what killed him. But then, of course, it led to the multi-day manhunt, and the younger brother would be found hiding in the back of a boat, basically, in someone's backyard. So it's hard to believe it was 10 years ago. To be honest with you, in my mind, usually it seems like it was sooner, more recent.
Yep.
But this seems like it was quite a long time ago.
Got a break. We'll come right back at 7:20. As I said, we have a pretty, I think, big announcement that we'll be making this morning at 7:40. It's 7:20 right now at WIBX.
Refresh and renew your home this spring with Little Falls Lumber. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors and 12-foot lengths. An affordable option for fixing utility sheds, roofs, or garages. Looking for lumber and tired of the warped pieces from the big box stores? Then go to Little Falls Lumber, where they stock only premium grade lumber. Stop in to one of their 3 convenient locations: Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady. Little Falls Lumber, helping you refresh and renew this spring. Call 315-823-2470 or visit littlefallslumber.com.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always always talked about. And of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back. Up Singers.
So I order barbecue for a 20-person client meeting. Easy Cater calls and says, "Hi, Sarah, you probably need more food for that many people. Want us to add it for you?" Doing it for you. I say, "Yes, please." Yes. Turns out they were right. Good thing they asked, because Joyce's meeting notes can be pretty sassy when she's hungry. Look out.
Client meetings. Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on easycater.com and know.
We got your back.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/free.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift the Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Don't wait for spring. Declutter and clean now. You Call, We Haul does it all, offering 14-foot trailer rentals to haul away all that junk. They offer 2-day rentals for $200 plus dump fee. 5-day rentals, $325 plus dump fee. They'll even drop off a trailer to you. Fill the trailer up, and once you're done, give them a call, and they'll haul it all away for you with the first ton on them. Call 315-351-6412 or visit YouCallWeHaulNY.com for your free quote today.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Davey, did you see over the weekend on Saturday in the Yankees game? I got to pull it up. The substance that was found on
Domingo Germán and Rocco Baldelli made a big deal about it and got thrown out.
So, do you think, though, that he should have been allowed to stay in the game?
No, he should have got thrown out.
He should have been thrown out.
Because
I agree.
They asked him to wash it off.
They made him wash his hands, and then they let him stay in the game.
I don't understand. I don't understand that part of it. Like, who was the guy who had the big splotch of pine tar on his neck a couple of years ago at Yankee Stadium? Yankees pitcher, at Fenway Park. It was a Yankees Red Sox game. Remember, he had it smeared all over his neck. They came out. They're like, "What the heck are you doing?"
I can't think it off the top of my head.
They didn't say go wash it off your neck. They said you're out of the game. You're cheating.
Right.
I don't understand.
So after they allowed him to stay in the game, that's when Rocco Baldelli came back out and started arguing with the umps. He ended up getting thrown out of the game. Supposedly the umps did find something, but rather than giving Herman the boot per Major League Baseball rules, they asked him to wash his hands and allowed him to continue pitching.
I understand. When Sammy Sosa was using a corked bat, he got caught using a corked bat, they didn't say, Mr.
You're
Sosa,
out.
would you please go exchange that bat for another one and get one that's not corked and come back out and finish your at bat?
Yeah.
I can't believe this was allowed. Rocco Baldelli should have got thrown out of the game because I would have lost my mind too.
If you're cheating, using a substance would be cheating, right?
Yeah.
Then you should be kicked out of the game. And there should be maybe consequences after that, maybe a suspension of some sort. But instead, they allowed him to come back and pitch.
I don't understand because there's been a couple of pitchers who have made the case with just sweat and rosin, you can develop a better grip and almost like a stickiness to your hands and your fingers to better grip the ball, which probably is a good thing for the batter because guys aren't getting hit in the head. At the same time, I've never heard of this. Go wash your hands, otherwise you're out of the game. You're just out of the game.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's either legal or it's not legal. I just don't get it. And by the way, the pitcher I was thinking of was Michael Pineda when he had that big smear of pine tar on his neck at Fenway Park. They didn't say go wash your neck, Mr. Pineda.
Correct.
They said you're out of the game.
You're
I
out
don't
of the
understand.
game.
Has Major League Baseball stepped in to clarify since this happened?
It's only Monday, so we haven't heard anything yet.
Okay.
But it was all the talk on the post-game show on
should be
on Saturday.
There are new pizza topping trends. I feel like a pizza is a pizza is a pizza is a pizza. There are no, I mean, every once in a while, someone will be like, yeah, I put pineapple on, I'm not into that.
I don't get that either. I'm also not into that.
In this case,
but pepperoni tastes different than sausage and pepper, doesn't it? Not to you?
It does, but they're traditional toppings.
Oh, yeah. Right.
These are the new topping trends, they're saying. I guess this is because this is from Hormel, which would make me question it anyway. Anyway, they're saying international flavors have become a big thing, with culinary travelers with pizza influences from Thailand, Vietnam, and Mexico taking the big stage now. So imagine a Mexican pizza.
Okay.
Well, that's a quesadilla. It's not a pizza.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right. So it's quesadilla, not a pizza.
It's a quesadilla. It's not an Italian pizza. Non-traditional ingredients show a desire by pizza fans to experiment with even pickles and ranch dressing gaining in popularity with the pizza crowd. Said no one ever, I don't believe.
Well, I have to tell you, there's a local shop where sometimes I go in and the different slices they have on the counter, they'll have like a mac and cheese, which I had never heard of.
I once had a Big Mac.
Yeah.
A Big Mac pizza.
They have like a burger. I don't know that they call it a Big Mac pizza, but it's got lettuce, pickles, onions.
Pizza.
Yeah. And then what I tried last week from there was steak and greens. Now, I thought that was good.
That's kind of a cool idea,
but you're getting exotic when you're going to all this stuff, right?
I guess. You're right. There are. I might consider that. Like the mac and cheese does sound good, but is that really a pizza? I guess it is.
Yeah.
Pizza fans, they say, are now fearless, diving into spicier and more complex flavors. Some are taking the cup and char approach, I don't even know what that is, to their pepperoni by baking half the pepperoni on the pizza and taking the other half and cooking it in a pan and then placing it back on the pizza.
Okay.
This just seems to be way too much work.
For a piece of pizza, yeah.
For a piece of pizza. Is there anything wrong with the classic cheese slice. I love the New York style. It's a nice thin slice of pizza, although there are places where you get the thicker pizza. It depends on what you like. To me, every different pizzeria around our area is another meal, all with the same toppings for the most part, but they just taste like a different meal.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of different styles. I don't know the need to, or the thought that like my pizza needs to be dressed up more than it typically is. I wonder if there are still ingredients out there that haven't been considered or tried that one day you go, hey.
I can't believe we haven't thought of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that still exists? I mean, I've seen people put broccoli on pizza. We talked about a
Well,
pineapple,
there
which some
are-
people say that's very good.
I would have, if before it ever came out, if somebody said to me, ham, eggs, bacon, cheese on a pizza, I'd be like, that's disgusting. But the breakfast pizza exists today, and it's very popular.
Yeah, that's true.
But is there anything more out there that hasn't been done? I don't know. Here's Jack and Rome on pizza. Hello, Jack. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Davey. There's a place down in North Carolina. There's several of them down there. It's called Cici's, C-I-C-I Pizzeria.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
got
Ben.
like 30 different pizzas.
What are some of their more exotic?
There's chocolate pizza, like a Reese's Kisses pizza. There's just all different types of them. I couldn't even eat all of them.
Yeah.
They put them out like on a buffet, and you try every different one.
I've been to a Cici's, and yes, they have probably 2 dozen, 3 dozen
Is it a
different
chain or is it a?
I believe it is a chain.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
all right.
almost like
It's a chain, and every time you walk in, they welcome the Cici's, and it's just awesome there.
So you like it then, Jack?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Pretty cool.
It is literally an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's only pizza. But again, it's all different kinds. They got, and again, when you're talking 30 different varieties, they might have a sausage pie next to a pizza that's sausage and peppers, next to one that's sausage and pepper. All these different variations, but they do have some. I'll say it again, exotic stuff, things that I've never heard of. Again, like broccoli on pizza. That might have been the first time I tried the pineapple on pizza, which is a weird
I tried
combo.
it down in Kannapolis, Concord.
Gotcha.
All right. Good stuff, Jack.
Okay,
thank you,
guys.
man. Have a great
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Cici's. Welcome to Cici's.
Yes.
Where we'll put anything on our pizza.
Really, anything.
Okay. 7:33. Quick break, and we'll. You have some comments.
I just I wanted to follow up on the Yankee thing before we moved on. I got actually 2 messages. One from Councilman Joe Beatrice, and the other one from Steve Hauk. Both saying the same thing. The substance was too much rosin. It is not illegal. Supposedly, Herman washed his hands, but the umps thought he didn't do a good enough job. He actually wiped them off. They wanted them to wash the hands. Again, it's either I'm not arguing with the guys who messaged in, but I'm just saying from the league standpoint, it's either legal or it's not. So if I'm allowed to have rosin, but I can't have there's a point where I go past it, well then it's illegal then, right? It's just like pine tar on a bat. I can have pine tar on a bat, but there becomes a point where the ump steps in and says either that's too much pine tar or it's too high up. And I believe you're ejected for that. You don't get to go fix your bat and come back. So it's still kind of confusing to me, but the actual issue was rosin, not like pine tar smeared on Michael Pineda's neck.
Mike says, welcome to a kinder, more gentle Major League Baseball. Maybe that's what it is.
You've been warned.
We warned you. Now, don't do that again. At 7:34, coming up, Manasseh with an update. We'll do our free money question of the day. And
Big announcement.
We have a big announcement coming up right about 7:40 this morning.
Yep.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Stay tuned.
It's a good one. We'll get right to it. Coming up, 7:35 at WIBX.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
Broadway Utica presents My Fair Lady, May 1st and 2nd at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org or call 315-724-4000.
Still raining, 49 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:35. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Shop My Carl's today for the lowest prices, no credit needed financing. and fast same-day delivery in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. The 127th running of the Boston Marathon takes place today as Patriots Day has arrived. Nearly 30,000 runners from over 100 countries are expected to be on the course today, with thousands more lining the route. It comes 10 years after the deadly Boston Marathon bombing claimed the lives of 3 people and injuring many others as bombs exploded near the finish line about 12 seconds apart. The start of the trial in Dominion Voting Systems' $1.6 billion defamation suit against Fox News is being delayed. Judge Eric Davis announcing that the trial will get underway Tuesday, as opening arguments had been previously scheduled for today. Dominion is suing the network over claims that voting machines were rigged during the 2020 election. Time is running out for those who still need to file their federal taxes. The IRS deadline for filing 2022 is tomorrow. Those who have not submitted forms can request an extension, delaying the deadline for paperwork until October 16th. The extension does not apply if you owe the government money. The next SpaceX rocket launch is scheduled for this morning from the Boca Chica Starbase in Texas. The SpaceX website calls Starship a fully reusable transportation system and the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed. The rocket will be unmanned for today's test flight, as Starship will attempt to orbit the Earth before splashing down in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Hawaii. Evacuation orders in place days ago for residents affected by a recycling plant fire in Richmond, Indiana, have now been lifted. The announcement came Sunday after last week's toxic blaze, which sent thick black smoke over the area. The mandatory orders had applied to residents within a half mile of that plant. And opinions are mixed over a new interactive app that reportedly allows mourners to talk to the dead. Hereafter AI is what it's called. It creates digital replicas of the voice and personality of a deceased loved one. Orthodox Catholic philosopher Joe Vukov says having a way to keep people around that we've lost is well-intentioned, but he also cautions that people are more than just an abstract intelligence. What do you think of that? AI that will mock and mimic the voice and personality of a loved one who has been lost, allowing you to stay in touch, quote, with them.
I watched a piece on 60 Minutes last night involving AI, and it's scary where we're going.
I was going to say, you watched it and you have not slept since.
You can't sleep after watching this.
It's like scary.
And there's now artificial intelligence that is learning and forming conclusions and strategies on its own, things that it has not been taught. That's pretty scary. So all of a sudden it's becoming a very intelligent entity all on its own. Without influence, that's pretty scary.
Was Elon Musk in that piece?
I don't think so.
Okay, there was something with Elon Musk over the weekend where essentially he said, in his opinion, AI threatens civilization or humanity more so than nuclear weapons.
Well, he's one that's called for a pause for people to be able to catch up.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Here's your forecast from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. After a string of some gorgeous weather, there is the other side of the coin, if you will. Some showers and possibly a thunderstorm before noon today. A high this afternoon of 56 degrees. We could see some additional rain showers then as well. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Showers expected this evening between 7 and midnight. An overnight low of 39 degrees. More rain showers possible Tuesday, mainly in the afternoon. Tuesday's high, 48 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday, a high of 47. And we warm it back up Thursday, partly sunny, a high of 63. Chance of showers in the afternoon Friday, otherwise partly sunny with a high of 75. Right now, some light rain, 49 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:40.
On the comment on the Yankees, the Herman situation, Joe says Herman had rosin on his hands, which is legal. The new rules allow a pitcher to refuse to wash it off even after being told to wash it off. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think that's
those
kind
are the
of
new
odd,
rules. And as I said, Mike says, welcome to a kinder, gentler Major League Baseball. We're just going to tell you to stop. Don't do it anymore.
And then you can say, well, too bad. I don't want to stop, so
Apparently
I'm going to keep doing it.
Apparently you can.
Oh.
All right, let's do the free money question here from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. Davey, we're going to go with caller number what?
4.
Fourth caller through the lines, 315-736-0186. Chance to win a whole bunch of stuff, including $100 in cash from Hobeika, next on WIBX.
The IBEW Local 43 and the National Electrical Contractors Association have been a part of Central New York for over 100 years. The IBEW state-of-the-art training facility offers classroom instruction as well as everyday on-the-job construction training. From the Carrier Dome to our local hospitals, malls, schools, and city buildings, Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 will continue to help light, power, and grow our community.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there. It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
Here at Lee Baldwin & Company, we're always doing the math, so we are asking everyone to take the 4% challenge. And here's how it works. You look at your savings, IRA, and other investment accounts and see if you are getting close to 4% interest on your cash. If not, just give us a call for a comparison of options available today. For your trouble, we will offer a cup of coffee for taking the time to hopefully have your money work harder for you. Oh, and don't forget to ask about even higher yielding CDs. Please call us at 315-734-1410 or visit our website at investtoday.com. That's investtoday.com. We are a member of FINRA and SIPC, and all of our CDs are FDIC insured. So take the 4% challenge and have your money work harder for you. And as always, you do the dreaming and we'll do the math. Investtoday.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Ready now. Chance for you to win Hobeika's free money question of the day. It's a question of, you'll have 7 seconds, of course, to answer. And it comes from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, at 315-724-1600. And here we go. On the phone line right now is Pat in New Hartford. Hello, Pat. Good morning. Do I have you, Pat? Good morning. Davey, is that Pat on line too? Why don't you check him out? I don't know what's going on. I've had other calls, so everything seems to be set. You tell me if he's there, Davey. Oh, I'll tune into Davey. He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, Pat, I don't know what happened to you. Call back, Pat. We'll still give you the shot. And actually, a pretty good question. The question we could use for tomorrow, but we won't. Now that I have a moment, go ahead. You were going to run with this. No one would ever get this.
No, I know.
But it's a great question.
We would have to tie in some clue. But the second ever winner of the Boston Marathon was a Canadian runner by the name of Ronald McDonald.
Never knew it.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And Bill mentioned to me, I think that the Mets organization.
I thought there was a Mets player that may have played in Little Falls named Ronald McDonald.
Ronald Gordon McDonald, born September 30th, 1956, was from Wisconsin. He was 6 feet, 170 pounds, and in 1977 he played for the Little Falls Mets.
Okay, there we go.
Good memory, Bill.
Yeah.
He ended up having a couple years in the minor leagues, topped out in the early 80s at AAA Tidewater, and never made it to the
I
bigs.
remember him quite well. He had these big red shoes and a big red nose. Yeah, I remember him.
Big red and yellow baseball bat.
Yep, I remember him. Absolutely.
Ronald
All
McDonald.
Right, all right, here we go, and Pat is back with us. Hi, Pat. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. All right, here we go with your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. It's the Hobica free money question of the day. Here we go. The George Brett Pine Tar incident against the New York Yankees happened on July 24th of what year? Ready, go.
78.
Try it again.
77.
Yeah, it was a little later than that.
It was reversed, right? Was it 87?
It was 83, 1983.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was quite an ordeal, right? That turned into a massive fight.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. Okay, now here's what we'll do. We mentioned 2 weeks remain for Fat Cats Comedy Club. They for this season, then they'll be off for the summer. So there are shows this weekend and shows next weekend. We'll give you your choice of either weekend, a table for 6. We'll also give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card, a $25 gift card, good at Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, which is now open up in New Hartford, Taylor and the Cook, and the Adirondack Bank Center concession stands, or Nexus as well. All right, so hang in there. Davey's going to hook you up and take care of you. Pat, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Davey, he's all yours. All right. Okay, are you I should let Davey finish up. He can do his thing, and then we'll bring Davey into this announcement.
Yeah.
We have a big announcement coming up. What do you have?
No, I was just going to say, 2 weeks left. Obviously, we're winding down the season. We got a little bit of summer here, a bit early, but you do an amazing job of some of the guests we have in Friday mornings are just incredible, and I think that leads up to because I don't even know what the big announcement is, but I think it's all related. It's all connected.
It is all connected, and I will also say to you that despite the beautiful weather over the weekend, they had a great turnout for Bob DeBono.
Our phone lines, when I give away, I one point at the end of the hour, I said, "Hey, if you want to go, if you're interested, we'll take caller 4." The phone lines lit up like it was unbelievable. It was so hilarious on Friday.
It's something that when you have great weather, it's so hard to get people to come out and do things. In fact, they'll schedule and say we're coming, and then they don't show.
Right.
That did not happen for DeBono this weekend. He killed it. And Davey, you were there Saturday night at Fat Cats Comedy Club to check it out.
Yeah, thank you very much. I went to the 7 o'clock show.
Are you ready, Davey?
Yes.
Okay, here is our announcement. And this is pretty darn exciting. Here we go. Kennedy and Jimmy Fallon, the Laughs and Liberty Tour, which is touring America right now, is coming to Utica.
That's awesome.
And it'll happen on Veterans Day, November 11th. Quite a ways down the road, but tickets go on sale on Friday, April 28th. For this show, and it'll be held at the Stanley Theater. We're pretty darn excited. Fox News Channel's Naughty Stepchildren, Kennedy and Jimmy Fallon, that's what they're calling them, the Naughty Stepchildren. And, of course, Jimmy is on WIBX every day from noon until 3. They make their theater debut in Utica with the Laughs and Liberty Tour. Lisa Kennedy Montgomery joined Fox Business Network as a contributor in 2012 and is the host of the primetime program Kennedy. She got her start in television as an MTV VJ in 1992. She also appears frequently as a panelist on Fox News Channel's Outnumbered program. Jimmy Fallon is an American stand-up comedian, TV pundit, author, and host of the syndicated Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon, which airs weekdays on WIBX. Fallon has previously sold out, get this, 12 stand-up comedy shows at Fat Cats Comedy Club in Washington Mills already. Every time he has come, he has sold out. The last time, it was at 5 or 6 sellout shows. I mean, it's incredible. The addition to what Jimmy does, his 1-hour stand-up special, which you can find currently streaming on Amazon Prime, is called State of the Union. He appears regularly on Kennedy on the Fox Business Channel, and now it's time for the big stage. Kennedy and Jimmy Fallon traveling to Utica Veterans Day for the Laughs and Liberty Tour, only at the Stanley Theater.
So, okay, so I assume they don't do it together, right? She opens for him, and he's the headline?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's not a, yes.
It's not a political debate back and forth, have a conversation. No. This is stand-up comedy. Wow, that's awesome. I can't wait to go to it. That's incredible.
It's going to be a great show.
Can I go?
The fact that and the fact that it'll be at the Stanley, Davey, you're going to be.
I know
you'll be. I don't know, head of security or something. I don't know.
Yeah, up on the stage with him, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
But tickets go on sale through Ticketmaster on April 28th.
So yeah, less than 2 weeks away. Wow.
Yep. There will be some. There will be some early access for VIP members that belong to Fat Cats Comedy Club.
Okay, so a membership to Fat Cats is what kind of makes that possible.
That would make that possible, and there may be some other opportunities to get some early opportunities in there for those who are extremely loyal to and have seen Jimmy and that sort of thing. We'll talk more about that as we get closer, but we're pretty darn excited about it. And it happens on a perfect day for this show, right? Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's
a perfect day.
Yeah, that is a great.
Like his radio buddy Davey.
That's right, Davey. I mean, Davey helped facilitate the whole thing.
No,
he's gone back and forth to make it all happen.
No,
we started working on this actually when Jimmy was here the last time, but we just and there may have been a few. We just realized that there were a couple things going on.
Yeah.
He's no longer allowed to come up on Fridays. So if you recall, he'd come into the studio on Friday. They want him there to do TV on Fridays. So he's only able to do shows on Saturdays as he is growing more and more popular at the Fox News Channel. And we just couldn't fit enough people in the Fat Cats Comedy Club.
We sold out all the shows, and you could have kept doing it.
At some point, we've got to go. He's gotten big enough where it's time to do a large venue. And then you add Kennedy to the mix, and that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So you'll want to get ready to get your tickets on the 28th of April. They will go on sale. We'll have all the details coming down the pike. We'll get all the information out there.
Yeah, I am super excited. He is so funny, and again, you mentioned there might be there will be some VIP opportunities for like maybe a meet and greet beforehand or after. When he's at Fat Cats though, he's out there pre-show, post-show, photos, BSing with people. Hey, I heard you say this 2 weeks ago. Do you remember this? What do you think of that? The amount of time he spends with people who come to his shows is remarkable.
And I do have to say that there will be those opportunities as well for people to be able to do the meet and greet and all of that stuff. That'll be he's just really good with that stuff.
Yeah.
So get ready for it. All right, 7:55. We'll break news coming up top of the hour. Still coming in later on next hour. Actually, to start off next hour, we'll speak with Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacini, calling attention to child abuse, school threats, and big topic right now, farmer safety. We'll talk with all of that with the county executive among other things. Coming right up, 7:55 at WIBX.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and the last time I was up at WIBX with the Keeler Show, when I wasn't shutting down hecklers in the comedy club, I was learning all about Bill and Robin Mongeau and their amazing philosophy of buying and selling homes at River Hills Properties. Folks, when you list your home with River Hills, you're getting an extra level of service it is not available with other agencies. And I, for one, can't imagine having people I don't know wandering through my home when I'm not there. It's bad enough I've got Lincoln throwing his keg parties when I'm on the road. But also, that's the way houses are sold up in Utica, but not with River Hills. Your River Hills listing agent is there every time your house is shown. They turn the lights on, they answer questions, and they make sure no one's going through your medicine cabinet. It happens. Trust me, I've done it to a few people. Not proud. But seriously, list your home with River Hills Properties and reduce your stress level. It's like having a personal assistant to oversee the sale of your home. So why wouldn't you list with River Hills? What the heck's wrong with you? If you're even thinking about selling your home, call my friends at River Hills Properties, serving Utica, Rome, the Valley, and the North Country. Call 315-896-1009. And remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Tell them Jimmy Fallon told you to call.
No matter where you live, what you make, or who you voted for, there are some things that will impact all of us soon. Whether you're concerned about the alarming increase in man-made disasters, financial institutions collapsing, or worsening food shortages, Americans are preparing in numbers not seen since World War II. What's changed is how we prepare. And the folks at My Patriot Supply have made it easier than ever for you to have peace of mind, knowing you're ready for what's next. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and stock up on over a dozen emergency food kits. These include tasty breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, fruits, veggies, meats, and snacks, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one kit per person. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. My Patriot Supply food kits are in stock and shipped discreetly. We've seen too many Americans let down by institutions we used to trust. It's time to rely on ourselves. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
If you're having pain, think of the Omni Surgery Center, Dr. Hyder. There's no reason to live through the pain. They can stop the pain. The website is killpain.com. Check it out. It's the Omni Surgery Center, located in the Utica Business Park, with the surgery center located on French Road. Again, the website is killpain.com. It may be a less invasive surgery, could be injections. So many other options are out there to remove the pain once and for all from the Omni Surgery Center from Dr. Hyder. Call them today and schedule an appointment, 315-765-8448. It's where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. 315-765-8448. As we said, the website is killpain.com. We went through this with my dad, and he's had injections there on a couple different occasions. They just care. They take care of you every step of the way. It's the Omni Surgery Center. Dr. Hyder, call today, 315-765-8448. 315-765-8448 for the Omni Surgery Center.
Oriskany Garage is your locally owned tire store that will compete with the internet retailers and chain stores on price, but we promise to crush them with personal and professional service. Give locally owned Oriskany Garage an opportunity to earn your tire and auto repair business. Brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs. Come and experience best of the best service at Oriskany Garage or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Please come forward and help. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the plea from police in Dadeville, Alabama, after Saturday night's birthday party shooting.
Ever how minor you think it is, we absolutely
need you to share it.
Alabama law enforcement agency Sergeant Jeremy Burkett, the shooting at a dance studio left 4 people dead, 28 injured.
Police have not said what exactly led up to the shooting, and they have not said whether they have a suspect in mind or a suspect in custody.
Fox's Charles Watson in Dadeville. President Biden called the shooting outrageous, again calling on Congress to pass stricter gun laws. American troops went on a raid in Syria today. U.S. Central Command says it's probable they killed a senior ISIS leader who's planned terror attacks. House Republicans are in New York City to hold a hearing this morning, blaming Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg for rising crime.
Not only in New York City, but every big city around this country, and it's driven by these left-wing DAs who come in with a political agenda. Instead of focusing on protecting people, families, communities, and small business owners, they're all about politics.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan has demanded Bragg testify about the criminal charges filed against former President Trump. Now, Democrats call the hearing a political stunt. Bragg has sued Jordan, accusing the Republican of trying to intimidate him and interfere with his Trump prosecution. The show is over for Phantom of the Opera, the longest-running musical ever on Broadway.
The masterpiece's composer, Andrew Lloyd Webber, producers, cast, and crew receiving a tear-filled standing ovation.
After nearly 14,000 shows dating back to 1988, Phantom of the Opera was halted like all other Broadway shows during COVID.
It needed government assistance to reopen after pandemic shutdowns and never really recouped the sales of its prime. It was decided the show would close in February, the announcement causing demand to skyrocket. Seats sold out, sales broke records, and ticket prices soared.
That's Ashley Rodriguez with Fox 5 TV in New York City. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, I really love to share incredible deals when I find them, and my friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they have the best value in a rifle that I have seen with their H001 Classic Lever Action 22. Now, it shoots smooth, it looks great, and it's affordable. Just $300 to $400 for a rifle made in America, and it's backed by a lifetime guarantee. And it features a great-looking American walnut stock. Now, check it out. Just go to their website, henryusa.com/H001. That's henryusa.com/H001. And be sure to get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers around where you live. They have over 200 models you can choose from. And let me be blunt, you can't go wrong with any one of them. henryusa.com/H001. Free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you live, and you'll see the Henry H001 Classic Lever Action 22 rifle. You're going to love that, and you're going to love this company.
Still some light rain, otherwise mostly cloudy skies, and now 47 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Utica and Power Sports of Utica. Stop in today to check out their large selection at 4870 Commercial Drive. Well, the all-clear finally given after 9 p.m. last night on the campus of Hamilton College. This followed what appear to be unfounded reports of an armed assailant on the campus last evening. The report alleged that that person was seen near the Kerner Johnson building. All on campus were put in a shelter-in-place order that continued for a few hours. The investigation into the incident is ongoing. Meanwhile, the search for witnesses underway after a deadly weekend motorcycle crash in Madison County. It happened on Saturday. Robert Walker was traveling on Route 13 in the town of Lenox when police say his motorcycle collided with an SUV. Walker was seriously injured. Meanwhile, his passenger, 42-year-old Alicia Walker, was killed from her injuries. Anyone who saw the accident is asked to contact the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Nearly 3 weeks after the April 1st budget deadline, Governor Kathleen Hochul and state lawmakers still have not reached agreement on a new deal. The governor says progress is being made toward reaching a final agreement, but talks continue on issues like bail reform and affordable housing. The state legislature will need to pass another budget extender today to keep government running and to make sure that state workers are still getting paid. Last year's state budget was 9 days late. And, Bill, I'm not sure if you've noticed, actually I'm sure you have, that the price of gas is going up. Central New York drivers seeing gas prices increase maybe every other day so far at this point over the last couple of weeks. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel here in the Utica-Rome market is $3.59. Now, that's up 6 cents over the past week and is up 14 cents over the past month. Believe it or not, Bill, our neighbors in Syracuse paying an average of $3.63. That's 4 cents more than us.
That's so odd for us.
Yeah, same thing in the Albany region.
Yeah.
They're averaging $3.63. Statewide in New York, the average is $3.61. So we are below the statewide average as well, although I'm sure we'll catch up sooner or later. WIBX News Time coming up on 8:06. Your forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, and a bit of a change compared to what we saw at the end of last week and over the weekend. Rain showers and possibly a thunderstorm before noon today, with maybe some lingering rain showers this afternoon as well. Today's high 56. Tonight, showers likely, mainly between 7 p.m. and midnight, an overnight low of 39 degrees. Tuesday, showers likely in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies with a high of 48. Cloudy skies remain Wednesday, but no mention of rain at this moment, a high of 47. And then we turn it back around. Thursday, partly sunny, a high of 63. Chance of rain showers Friday, otherwise partly sunny, and a high of 75. Right now, some light rain and 47 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:06. All right, in sports, a busy weekend. Some disappointment after some excitement at the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica City FC did win the second game of that 2 out of 3 series on Sunday at home. That forced the mini game, unfortunately. Utica City FC came up short. They lose 2-1 and are now eliminated from MASL playoffs. The Utica Comets, though, over the weekend clinched their playoff spot. They'll take on the Laval Rocket in the first round. They play at Laval on Wednesday night. They'll come home to host Game 2 in the best-of-3 series on Friday at the Adirondack Bank Center, and if necessary, Utica would host Game 3 at the Adirondack Bank Center on Saturday as well. The Knicks look to take a 2-0 series lead in their best-of-7 with Cleveland. They'll play in Cleveland Game 2 tomorrow night. Jalen Brunson led the way for the Knicks in the first game of the postseason. He scored 27 points. Julius Randle recorded a double-double with 19 and 10. The Nets, meanwhile, look to avoid a 2-0 series hole as they play in Philadelphia for Game 2 tonight. The Nets coming off a 20-point loss in Game 1 after they finished the regular season as the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. NHL playoff hockey, the Islanders' quest for a cup begins tonight. They visit the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1. That is a best-of-7 series. And the Devils and Rangers, they'll meet in the first round. The Devils host the Blue Shirts for Game 1 of their best-of-7 series coming up tomorrow night in Newark. Baseball over the weekend. The Mets complete a 4-game sweep of the A's. 4-3 was the final on Sunday. Tommy Pham, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso all had solo homers in the victory. And the Yankees picked up another win. Garrett Cole has been on fire. He's off to a 4-0 start and was dominant, striking out 10 and allowing just 2 hits in a complete game shutout as the Pinstripes down the Twins 2-0 at Yankee Stadium on Sunday.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with the county executive, Anthony Piceni, and also later in the hour, Congress is returning to Washington after a break this week, and we'll speak to Ryan Schmelz from Fox News on that coming up. It's 8:08 at WIBX.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Refresh and renew your home this spring with Little Falls Lumber. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors and 12-foot lengths. An affordable option for fixing utility sheds, roofs, or garages. Looking for lumber and tired of the warped pieces from the big box stores? Then go to Little Falls Lumber, where they stock only premium grade lumber. Stop in to one of their 3 convenient locations: Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady. Little Falls Lumber, helping you refresh and renew this spring. Call 315-823-2470 or visit littlefallslumber.com.
It feels good to know someone has your best interest at heart. At AmeriQ, we'll help you make the most of your money. Whether you're a savvy investor or just starting to build your savings, earn more with AmeriQ. From competitive rates to expert guidance and quick and easy online account opening, AmeriQ has everything you need to get more out of life. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility is required. Insured by NCUA.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
It's 8:11 Monday morning after an amazing. I just loved all the people that were coming back from Myrtle Beach, and they're like, I can't believe we went down there for beautiful weather, and it was nicer at home. Craziness. Love money, Manasseh. Love money.
Absolutely. And I have your 8 a.m. win cash code here for our website, WIBX950.com. Chance to win $100 every hour, weekdays, Monday through Friday. Of course, that's weekdays from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. I have your win cash code for 8 a.m. here. It is 690. All you have to do is click on win cash at WIBX950.com. Enter the code each hour for your chance to win cash. Again, the code this hour is 690. And while you're on our website, I encourage you to check out a link there. It says Learn About Foster Care, and it's about fostering a better world. The House of the Good Shepherd Foster Care Program helps children who are unable to live with their birth parents or relatives. Most children are in need of short-term care, while their families receive services and work toward reunification. Foster parents can be of any marital status, single, married, divorced, partnered, but you must be at least 21 years old. When you foster a child, it will have a positive and lasting impact on your own family. You'll experience the joy of making a lasting difference in a child's life. You can become a foster family in a team effort, and it comes with support. It's a true partnership with the House of the Good Shepherd. Their primary goal is the success of both the foster child and the foster family who is taking care of them. If you're interested, just go to our website, WIBX950.com, click on Foster a Better World, or learn about foster care for more information. Last year, the House of the Good Shepherd helped over 430 kids in the foster care program, but the need for foster homes continues to grow. Children are waiting for people to open their hearts and their homes to them, and you can make a huge difference in a young child's life. Again, more information on our website.
Tomorrow is tax day. 60% of Americans say they pay someone else to do their taxes. Do you pay someone else to do yours?
I have many times. I've gone with the, insert chain name here, and I've had them do it. And it's in the range of usually for me, because it's usually a simple return, between like $85 and $120 that I pay. This year, though, however, I will tell you, and we have a link to this on our website. New York State says there are several programs where you can file your taxes for free. There are income eligibility requirements, and I went with one of those services, and I think I ended up paying, the state was free, and I think I had to pay $15 for federal, or maybe the other way around. But I actually, believe it or not, I was ahead of the game. I think I did it back in mid-February this year. But go to our website. If you're, some people can get them filed for free. And I did them myself. It's just entering the numbers in. But you said 60% of people pay someone to do their taxes. Yep. If it's a simple return, I'm telling you, they make it easy enough online. You can just pay.
Yeah, if it's simple.
If it's a simple return.
You
now,
should
the
be
other
able to
thing
do it
is,
yourself.
does that fall into the category of paying someone else? Because a lot of times with the online service, you can do and enter all the info yourself, but then you pay them like some type of fee, $30, $100 to file it for you. So you've entered all the info yourself. I wonder if that's included in the 60%. That sounds like a lot of people.
That would be a lot of people. Here's another interesting lot of people. Allergy season is underway, and they say 60 million Americans suffer from severe allergies. And they believe the Midwest gets it worse than anyone else.
Really? I would think it was drier.
I think we get it pretty badly here.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I hear people complain about it all the time. Fortunately, my allergies aren't that bad. I do get some flare-ups sometimes. But I wonder with what we saw over the weekend, it seemed like things were trying to come to life.
Yeah.
And then we got all that rain, and I'm telling you, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the stuff is washed all over the road. Basically the little stuff that starts on trees in the spring.
Seeds, depending on the tree, but they're all over the roads.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
All
the storm
over,
we got last night.
I was using my windshield wipers to get them off my windshield this morning. Have you ever flown Spirit Airlines?
I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me if you have.
I think we haven't. This one. It's a cheap airline. Cheap tickets. I believe they fly out of Syracuse, but everything is an upsell. So you get if you're okay with the absolute basics and a not so comfortable seat, but you love the fact that it's a cheap price, you'll love Spirit Airlines. Even in this case, somebody just taped this. Even the flight attendants mock the airline. In this case, the flight attendant is making an announcement mocking her own airline. Check this out.
Included in today's price, included in your ticket price, we have 3 lavatories available. Again, included in your ticket price, we have 3 lavatories aboard this aircraft. There's 1 lavatory here up front, 1 bathroom right here up front. I'm opening the door for you, so when you come up here, you don't have to tug on all the doors. This is 1 bathroom here, and there's also 2 in the back. Again, 1 up front, 2 in the back. All 3 are equipped with baby changing tables.
It was hard to understand, but she also said ice is free. That's the only thing free on this plane.
Okay.
3 lavatories and ice.
Oh, it was the bathroom.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand what she was saying.
Lavatories, she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is an upcharge. You want to put a bag on this plane, you got to pay to do it.
It wasn't Spirit, but we had it in the news last week that somebody was offering, tickets to maybe Myrtle Beach or South Carolina for $54.
Yeah,
right?
I
Florida
forget which airline it was.
And then Vegas was in there for, I think, $100.
But you got to follow their dates.
Yes. Well, if I'm not mistaken, on 2 of them, it was any time between the day I announced it and like June or something.
Some of those airlines, though, only fly on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
So if you go on a Tuesday, come back on a Saturday, go on a Saturday, you come back on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Some of them. I don't know what that deal really was. People on Reddit have listed 23 everyday things that can actually be really dangerous and even deadly for you.
Like driving to work?
That could be driving to work, but they added driving while tired. So it's kind of an innocent thing, seemingly innocent. You're tired, but it could end up being very bad for you. A kitten bite. There are cases where people have gotten really sick from a kitten bite, or even have died because of it.
From a kitten bite?
Yeah. Noise canceling headphones. Seems like a seemingly innocent thing, but could be deadly. Like if you're walking and you don't hear anything, you step right in front of a car.
I'll say it. My father told me not too long ago, this was maybe a couple of years ago now, but he was walking the dog, and there are some train tracks that roll through South Utica, and he had the headphones on, and he wasn't thinking, and he's walking along the tracks, and as he's walking, like all of a sudden the dog starts to like, rah, 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 and he's like, knock it off, what's the problem, knock it off. And he said, I just happened to glance over my shoulder, and it's not like it was right up on him, like he dove out of the way.
Well, there was a train
But there was a train approaching, and the dog was trying to let him know we need to get out of the way.
Lucky for the dog.
But he had the noise-canceling headphones on, and he really didn't hear it coming. That's scary.
Here is, and you're thinking a kitten bite. Are you kidding? Really?
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous.
An unlucky kitten bite appears to have led to a Danish man's death 4 years later. He reportedly contracted a serious infection. And here it says, in addition to being painful, infected cat bites can enlarge, grow red, and become discolored. If this infection is not treated on time, it can spread to other parts of the body and can cause blood poisoning, necessitating hospitalization. These infections can also be fatal.
You don't have a weak stomach, do you?
I don't. Why? What do you?
Well, because I sliced myself really good this weekend. Do you want to see it?
I don't want to see it. No.
Okay. I mean, it's
how badly
it's
was
deep.
the cut?
It's bad. It was like.
Did you get stitches?
No, I didn't get stitches because, well, there's a couple reasons why, but it was my son was drinking out of a glass. We put it in the sink. It cracked a bit, and I was doing dishes and like didn't realize. So I wasn't like trying to pick up broken glass with the tips of my fingers. I reached my hand into the water like I was grabbing something and it right into my pinky here. I mean, it was.
And it's hard on a finger because you move your fingers.
Yes.
So
and it's right on the bend there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah, this is.
You probably need that stitched.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you could do a butterfly with that, and the problem with that is you're moving your finger. So every time you think you've got it sealed back up, it's
yeah, and then it pops back open.
Yeah.
So
they use super glue. I used to think that was just going to be something of the future. Maybe today they have an actual adhesive that they can use on, but on a bend, I still think they kind of need to stitch it up a little bit.
Is it? Can I go 2 days later? I'm not going to get stitches. I'm going to let this heal as it is. But
yeah,
my fear is the infection. My fear.
Well, you should be thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier the man who tossed $200,000 on the interstate. This is an Oregon man, wanted to bless others. So he took. Don't you worry about maybe you're in a situation where you have a parent who has a ton of money. And it's all in the bank, but you worry that maybe the parent is beginning to get a little senile. And that's kind of what I think that happened here. He was not the only one on the bank account. There are other family members on this bank account, but he literally gave away $200,000 by throwing it out of his vehicle over a busy highway. Now, just the thought of this alone, I could see Sheriff Mayfield coming in and saying, well, please don't do this. This could cause people to jump out of their cars, stop in mid-traffic, to get out and grab the money, and who knows, someone could get hurt. Some drivers were happy, but others were not. And also in the unhappy category were the family members of the man who are also attached to the bank account. They're now asking for the money back. Here are a couple of witnesses and the police dispatcher talking about what happened in the situation.
This guy was driving up and down I-5, dropping out tons of cash.
Some friends called me and said that they got $2,000.
We have one of the people who picked up the large sum of cash, $1,800 worth, pulled over to the side of I-5 wanting to know what to do with the money.
Well,
I can help you.
Technically, the guy is saying, now the family members are saying, please give it back, but the guy is legally on the account. He did not break any laws, and he's saying, no, I'm blessing you. Go enjoy the money.
If I'm not mistaken, for instance, if this was like a Brinks truck, one of those armored trucks that carry money around, and there was an accident and money started flying out the back, I believe it's illegal to pick it up. You can't like pick it up and keep it. You could.
I think in this case, the person was intending for people to pick it up.
Yeah, he's giving it away. It's his money, or at least part of it is.
I've heard some rumors that that's how Pacenti is going to be giving away the ARPA funding.
Yes,
just driving down the road and letting it blow out of his vehicle. Any truth to that?
No truth to that.
No truth to that. Yeah.
If it happens, we'd appreciate a press advisory because I'll be there for that one.
But I don't think you have to give it back because he has. I mean, not the lawyer, but he has. It's his. He's on the account.
He's on the account.
He has every right to do what he wants with his money.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue that.
It's like the siblings who, mom has passed and now dad is 95 years old and he has all of this money and he marries the 60-year-old who now has control over everything.
Yeah. Isn't this kind of what happened with the Casey Kasem story?
There was a story about that.
Casey
yeah.
Kasem,
Yeah.
Anna Nicole Smith, wasn't that it?
Anna Nicole was another one. These are all really tough stories. So, But in this case, the guy's just throwing it out the window.
Also, I did say this last hour, and I think they said he's not in any trouble. He doesn't. The money's his, and he's not in any trouble. I do think it's trouble. It's like shouting fire in a crowded theater. Amazingly, somebody didn't get run over or hit by a vehicle.
You're absolutely right. It's amazing that someone didn't die from that.
So I feel like he could face charges under that thought process. Anyway.
Ann in Rome says, "Isn't that you were mentioning Ted Nugent? Isn't that cat scratch fever? What these people catch?" And it absolutely is.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what the infection is. And Ted Nugent just so happens to have the song Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, we
So
talked about this.
there you
Coming
go.
full circle. Good job, Ann.
Thanks, Ann. Okay, County Executive Anthony Pacenti, good morning.
Good morning.
So on your topic list here this morning, calling attention to child abuse. What is this?
Oh, well, April, April is Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month.
Got it.
So it's not that it's something that we do, 365, 24/7. And it's really designed to bring awareness to what every year we do a little ceremony over at the Child Advocacy Center with the sheriff, the district attorney, myself, many of our caseworkers, our police, law enforcement agencies, and advocates, the YWCA, et cetera, but it's really twofold. Obviously, we want to recognize the people that do this work every day, which is very, very, very difficult and stressful and really heartbreaking.
It's emotional,
emotional and stressful, but also to bring awareness, like there's all these months are designed to do that, bring awareness to it, and really to remind people that we say this a lot about every crime. If you see something, say something.
Yeah,
There's no more important area to say something than in the instance of the view of or the perception, or because perception can be reality, obviously, of child abuse.
It is difficult. Sometimes people see things and they think what they're seeing is abuse, and then the county investigates it and nothing happens because maybe it's not deemed abuse. But you really need to, if you see something, you really need to report it.
You do, and we do get numerous reports. In fact, at the State of the County address, I asked the entire audience at the end, towards the end, to stand up.
Yeah.
And there were about a few hundred people there, and it was really designed to look around, and we've done this before, to say that these are the amount of reports we get on a monthly basis for Child Protective Services. And actually,
that was pretty powerful.
Last month it was 410, actually.
Wow.
So there were more, actually, reports than we had in that particular setting. And so, see something, say something, and it could be anything. I mean, people see it in stores when they're shopping. The abuse of children, or if you're a neighbor and you see that kids aren't eating, you can pretty much tell. I mean, and or at least see what's going on, and or other suspicious behavior. Really say something, and it's meant to bring awareness to the problem.
Did we see an increase during COVID?
No, the problem with during COVID
we saw a
decrease
during
COVID because the reporting wasn't there.
Right.
And primarily
schools,
the school end of things, because that's they tend to be the around the number one reporting, or if not the number one reporting agency of.
Well, and they're mandated, right?
They're mandated as.
I know schools are teachers, staff are mandated. What about county employees? Are there any other?
Well, our child protective, obviously, when they go out and
they'd be mandated,
law enforcement,
reporters,
et cetera, are mandated when. Obviously, if they're at another scene for something else, but they see that, they are required at that point. And oftentimes, one neglect case leads to multiple.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to come what you're going to come across.
Well, we had a story in the news going back a couple of weeks, and it was about an individual in Utica being charged with endangerment and I believe assault or attempted assault, but there were 2 young children, I think both below the age of 9, that were alleged to have been getting hit with electrical cords. And ultimately, the agent, I'm struggling with the name of the agency that goes and investigates these cases, Child Protective Services, CPS was what I was trying to think of. And they witnessed, based on the police report, could see welts still on the children and made a decision to immediately pull them out of the home. The woman was ultimately arrested because they reached out to police, but there were also 3 other kids in the house that were removed from the home as well. So
that's the other thing. That's another point of it, that if one child is in that dangerous situation and there's others in the home, it's automatic in that regard, and especially if they're of a young age or regardless, that they get removed because they're now all in a dangerous situation. And mandated reporting, the hospitals, obviously, when they see something coming in that doesn't look right, or that there's other, if it's a broken arm or a leg or something, or severe bruises, and then they see others. I mean, obviously, that triggers another reporting.
I do remember a story where I don't know if it was there were 3 of us, so I remember having to go to the doctor's once, and my brother had a bruise. And the doctor didn't believe my mother when she said that he had fallen. And it was clear, we grew up in the country, your kids fall. And but he was there for something else. And, it is the job, but sometimes people can accuse and they're falsely accusing.
And that's true. And that's a hard one for
it is tough because you really have to
deal with. And it's hard for everybody afterwards, those families that have not in that case of a bruise or something, or even a broken leg or something that has not been the cause of or was caused by abuse or neglect or the like. But it is mandated in those specific cases, and so you got to deal with it. So
the other thing that happens is in family court cases.
Yes.
You see false allegations, unfortunately.
You do. And, my point of the 410, I mean, that's still...
Those are real cases.
Those are cases that people, really, we go out. And, you're seeing really, as I said in my speech that day, some really, the most, whether it's abject poverty, the most abject poverty that you see, or just, deplorable other, conditions and not eating, and the list goes on. But you talked about COVID going down, we didn't see it, and that was one of the points actually that Diane Sincato from the Y made. It's like we're talking about how many we know. How many we don't know is the bigger problem.
That's definitely the bigger problem. Any truth to the fact that you're starting a new tourism marketing campaign to call on Oneida County as a spring break destination? Our weather was nicer here than it was in places like Myrtle Beach.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
A lot of people go down to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, they did. And I know a lot of people were in Florida this last week, and the weekend was...
rain was just unbelievable.
Although today is not, is not a reflection of it. But the other news, though, on tourism is the hockey piece.
The
women's champion USA, which was announced last night, actually, during the finals of the USA World Hockey Championships, that it'll be in Utica next year. I think that's big news.
That is huge news.
What, I really look at what we've designed in terms of Nexus and the whole landscape there, and, anticipated, tournaments, come across, the youth hockey aspect, but to get this to like right in the first year is pretty remarkable. It goes back to what we did with the All-Star game a few years back.
And this will be at Nexus?
This will be at Nexus and the Odd, and everything,
Oh,
and you'll have the whole complex to utilize.
The whole complex. 12 days.
I think it's 31 games split over the 12 days. And again, this will be similar to what we saw a couple of weeks ago when they had the, was it the 18 to 20-year-old?
Yeah.
The national championship. But in this case, and we had thought, certainly Nexus would be a home for regional tournaments or, a U.S. tournament like this. But this is an international tournament. We will have teams.
This is 30 teams.
From 30 countries,
30
right?
countries.
Yeah, I mean, think about that.
countries.
We're not getting – this is drawing beyond North Carolina, Florida, Texas, California. Now we're going to be pulling from 30 countries around the globe. That is incredible.
Well, we already have. We did have those the other tournaments the last few weeks in which you had, obviously, Canada is the easy one, it seems, because of where it is. But we did have other teams from abroad that, that have already been there. So it's really remarkable in the short time period of what we've accomplished.
It is, and it's not by next year when this tournament happens. Basically, most of downtown will be completed. Right now, there's just so much construction going on.
By then, the garage
Yeah,
will be open.
yeah.
The other piece of we talked about it over the weekend a little bit. The other thing is, right now it's in their rough stages because there's a lot of construction going on. But once the landscape changes obviously when sidewalks are in and trees are up and the real the greenery is there and now you've got a real different vision of what downtown looks like and what it can, and we want to. We really want to, look at filling in some of those other spots. And I don't know if we can do it in a year's time, but we're going to try.
So yesterday there was another incident in which there was a report of a gunman on the campus at Hamilton College. We've seen this at schools throughout the region and really around the state and around the country. What do we do about this? We're talking about increasing the penalty, but we can't catch the people that are calling these in.
Yeah, the problem is they're so wide ranging, and it's like other things from the past that you don't know where they're coming from.
Right,
and
right.
You think with in the past time, I mean, way back, when people called them in on phones, you could track them. You could try and track it at least, and get a better sense. Today, the way the web is woven it's just so complex in terms of tracking it down, and then even then doesn't give you the direct person of where it came from. So the problem though is we have to keep responding to these things, and that is creating that the concern I have, like everybody, is obviously first concern is you want to make sure it's not real, and hopefully but you go there and make sure that you have all the resources there present that are necessary and do the sweep and do whatever you need to do. The other concern is, that what that does, in terms of, we talked about penalties, and we went through this some years ago with the Utica College incident, Utica University, and now incident, that now you've diverted all law enforcement into one area.
Right.
And you're really limited in the other areas, especially in a county like this. And what does that do if there's you have to worry, is it a decoy? Is it a
right? There's a fake incident here which draws all of the resources to one part of the county,
and then something else happens on the other. So it really is getting to be. I mean, unfortunately, now we're seeing them repeated. In a short time period.
Yeah,
and
it's a draw on resources also.
And with we're not catching these people, and we can increase the penalties. We can make the laws tougher, but if we can't find them, we can't do anything to them, and this just continues.
And as Jeff said, the sheriff mentioned the other day. You have, and then in the cases of one that happened about 2 weeks ago, I think Waterville and others. The incident of a bomb. So now you got dogs and what you need to go through, and because it's happening in other areas, all the dogs are not available, and there's just so many again to go around in that instance of having having that kind of those kind of resources. So in some cases you're using a lot of resources, and others you're limited in how much you have, especially in the area of a bomb sniffing dog that only a few agencies have.
Right.
And then there's so many around the state, and they were all over the state at that time. So
stay with us. It's the county executive, Tony Pacini. We'll break and come right back. Also coming up, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News in just a second. Right now, Steve Pawnee Mazda has their Move to Mazda sales event, and it's back. Enjoy 0.9% APR financing up to 36 months on all new 2023 Mazdas, CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. And as Rick says, Ricky Z, come on in and let's make the move to Mazda. He'll put a deal together for you that'll work. If you've been noticing a lot more Mazdas driving by you, maybe it's time for you to be driving an award-winning Mazda as well. It's from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back. Up Singers.
So I order barbecue for a 20-person client meeting. Easy Cater calls and says, "Hi, Sarah, you probably need more food for that many people. Want us to add it for you?" Doing it for you. I say, "Yes, please." Yes. Turns out they were right. Good thing they asked, because Joyce's meeting notes can be pretty sassy when she's hungry. Look out.
Client meetings. Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on easycater.com and know.
We got your back.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I want to tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And from the lattes, and there are over 14 different flavors, espressos, lattes, iced coffee, and fresh donuts and bagels every day. The drive-thru is lightning fast. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. 8:42. Congress back after a break, and to tell us all about it, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. So we're back at work. What's to be expected this week?
All right. So I think a lot of the attention is actually not on Washington, D.C. It's because members of Congress are actually heading to Manhattan for a field hearing that's supposed to start here in the next 20 minutes or so. And pretty much it's House Republicans hoping to shine a spotlight on what they think is the failed policies of Alvin Bragg, and saying that he's pro-crime and anti-victim. And this is also, kind of seen as a revenge on Alvin Bragg for prosecuting former President Trump.
What do you think, what are they going to be able to accomplish here?
That's a good question. Certainly Democrats are also seeing an opportunity here, and some aren't going to be protesting this hearing the way they protested other field hearings like the ones that House Republicans had down on the border. This time, some Democrats are still going to be going there, and they're going to use it as a chance to talk about the need for gun control and gun safety measures to be passed. So, certainly there's a lot of the theater that's going to be playing into this that people are expecting. But, this could be an opportunity to either shine the spotlight on certain issues that each members are kind of wanting to accomplish.
Well, and there is an absolute problem in New York with bail reform and with some of the other changes in the laws, which have seemed to have increased crime and certainly put the handcuffs on prosecutors, on law enforcement. It's a real problem in New York.
Right, but you see a lot of New York politicians kind of thinking that, they're moving the city in the right direction. You saw Bragg, after this hearing was announced, in his first response, pointed out, that New York actually has a low crime rate, or at least trying to make the case that New York has a low crime rate and is actually doing better than Columbus, Ohio is when it comes to combating crime, kind of taking a shot Jim Jordan right there. So certainly, no matter, depending on who you ask, there's a different narrative that's being spun here.
Yeah. All right, it's going to be interesting, and that will be is that this week? Is that starting today?
It starts today.
Yep,
yeah, it's going to be on the next. It starts at 9:00, so we expect it to start within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so.
Okay. Ryan Schmeltz, as always, thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Right, have a great day. County executive, it's definitely, there's no doubt it's a problem, right? We're in Albany right now, while they're down in New York City doing their protesting. In Albany, they're still negotiating over this, and that seems to be part of the holdup when it comes to getting a budget deal done.
I saw that was the other aspect of it,
yeah.
and I don't know. Maybe we talk about this often. Am I missing something? But to say that there's not a problem, you have to wonder. One of the things we were talking about before, when we were talking about child abuse, about if what's not getting reported. You have to ask yourself, in terms of what's happening in New York City, especially in following the stories and just everything else is, are the police stopping everybody that they can? You hear stories of people walking out of stores just carrying, walking out with goods without,
Well, we saw that happen in
we saw it happen
New
here
Hartford.
too. So the question is, are we? I mean, what is not getting reported?
Right.
What is not getting?
That's a good question.
Arrested or detained in any way because of all of this, and that's a as big a problem, not a bigger problem, because what's happening out there in that regard, and to say that they have less crime than Columbus, Ohio, I mean, or whatever.
Well, I'm assuming that's got to be per capita.
But I mean that data obviously and certain things, and we all use it for different scopes, but yeah, I just don't get it, and it's not reality.
Right.
It's not.
So we're in a position where coming out of COVID, I do think that I don't know. So much has changed since COVID. We can't find people to work. The craziness of walking down the street, and you saw this a lot in New York City, where a stranger would just come up and punch somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just coincidence that it's happened after COVID? I don't think that has anything to do with bail reform, but it's just there's a mental problem. There's a mental illness problem, it seems, since COVID that seems to have gotten worse.
Well, it seems to, and you wonder if there was the lack of the ability for these people to get proper care and medicine during that time, whether it was just that a lot of people really had problems with the whole COVID lockdown, and that just amplified some of their problems and moved it on. It really is hard to explain, and every time you use it as an excuse, people question whether or not we're overplaying that that hand in terms of that. But I really think there is a drastic difference. Some of it does look like if you go back to 2019, these things were not to the extent that they are, and you don't know if COVID never happens. Does the bail reform change in the scope
Although
of things?
in New York,
Probably
it does.
not.
In the city, there was a problem.
There was.
In New York with cases where people were getting into the system. They were being held on bail and then just forgotten about. That is a problem that had to be cleared up. The difficulty is, though, that this was just this became a New York policy, which, without considering that New York, upstate New York, is much different than New York City.
But it is, and the problem being that everybody was looking at it that in the argument that those who can afford bail should not be treated different than those who cannot.
Right.
But that still was never the marking point in terms of if you committed a crime, if you were abusive to your spouse or whatever.
Yeah.
It gave the judges the discretion. Well, okay, if you could pay more, you're going to pay more for that.
Right.
And then that would keep them. And then there was that cooling off period on the domestic violence things that don't occur. And there's the other piece in all of that aspect. But to just say that because, if I can afford bail and you can't,
right.
that should be the reason that we both walk
Well, you get rid of
streets
it.
we both walk the streets right after it and don't have to come back for until whenever, until an arraignment. I mean,
there's another very confusing part of this whole thing where we've had an attorney that's an Albany attorney come on who has talked about that claiming that it's not as bad as what is being described, and judges do have discretion. But I wonder. There was a story in the Post-Standard, I believe, a couple of days ago, how judges actually have to reach out to the state to get guidance on this because the law has changed so drastically, and they don't. That is not made public. What they're sharing with judges is not made public.
No, and the unfortunate thing is you can't get a judge, obviously, to come and say what they really understand or don't understand, or what they're dealing with in terms of it. And but the other thing, in listening to that gentleman from Albany at that time, he was dealing a lot in percentages, and obviously percentages are a lot different than the real numbers of what happens. So is that percentage the same because it's still, it's still Jeff Manaske, but you committed 4 crimes in one day, and whether or not we're really, putting that on, on the data points of everybody and looking at it across the board that it's multiple times. It's not just this.
Well, a good example is that shark attacks. There are 3 times more shark attacks this year than last year. We have a severe problem. And then you later find out that last year there was 1, this year there were 3. And that's what you're talking about with the percentages.
The percentages, sure.
When you're playing that game, you have to know the numbers.
You do. You have to know the numbers, and then you have to know the breakdown of where the numbers are too. That's the other thing. And what are the crimes that are being committed?
Yeah.
And what are they getting? And what and what are they not getting away with? But what are they repeat? What's the repeat offense? That I think that's another one that I think everybody needs to look at. Like what's I hate to say, what's the easiest thing to commit and just get released on? Right? Isn't that a question that should be?
Well,
asked?
you take a look at the people that went into the was it Ulta, the perfume store, and they were carrying out carrying out perfume. But if you do it a second time or a third time, whatever happened to the days where that counts for something?
I think also some of the progressives, or many of them, will say, well, but because it's not a violent crime. But
it's a repeat crime.
Well, it is. It's still a crime.
Right.
I mean, you're still stealing. You're still doing things. You're still. I mean, where they've gone astray on bail, I think, is that it's made it okay to do certain things because it's
nothing's
going
to happen.
A child that doesn't have any consequences if he does. I mean, you have children. You do. I don't. But it's the consequences of you just bad behavior.
Right.
Doesn't get rewarded. I'm not saying it's being rewarded. It's almost being ignored or being acceptable. And
well, when you're walking out with boxes of valuable perfume, you are being rewarded. You're not being punished, and you're going around and you're selling that stuff.
And they're being told not to. Even the security in the stores are being told not to even confront people. Why is that? I mean,
final thing is
I got 2 more things. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, one of them is it's from your buddy Lance. He's talking about the 70th anniversary of Vernon Downs. He says it opened Sunday night. Sadly, I must have missed the county executive there. What does the county provide for the area's biggest tax generator? One, is Vernon Downs the county's second biggest tax generator? And were you in attendance on Saturday for the?
I was not. I was out of town. I'm sorry, I missed it. But what do we provide for them? I mean,
do you?
Do we provide anything?
Yeah.
We've worked with Vernon on a variety of issues over the years to get them a higher percentage. I know they worked with Senator Griffo and others. We continue to work with them in terms of that, in terms of their, the percentages to reduce, what they have to pay to the state. It's more of a state issue when it comes to Vernon Downs in terms of the percentage of taxation. It's a racing and wagering issue. But, I've worked very well with Jeff Gorell and different things that he's asked for. We have a good relationship, and whatever they need, we usually make accommodations, and we work with them as we work with everybody else. So,
I also wanted to ask you about Utica Mayor Rob Palmieri was on the air last week, and the issue of Cornelia Street came up. which is Cornelia Street, extends beyond the hospital.
Sure.
But there is a strip of it that is directly in front of the hospital entrance that comes off essentially what is Oriskany Boulevard. The mayor said on the show that the city of Utica was going to maintain ownership of that entryway. That seems to be a variance from what the original plan was as it relates to the hospital. Was that news to you, and how impactful is that, if anything, to the hospital?
It was news to us a few weeks back when we first found out that the city had changed course again on the project, and this was another example of what, of doing it without, again, if you want to do it, and there are good reasons to do it, let's have a discussion about it rather than us finding out from, I found out from the hospital, obviously, and it is an impact just from to an extent because, first of all, it was part of the original plan from day one that it would be conveyed so that access and improvements, but also, the other point is where Cornelia is. That's the garage sits right on that corner. Our entranceway to the garage, our main entrance, and main utilities and other pieces that have to run in there. So we have to have permitting and do certain things with that. So it does cause us, some, probably, cause us some other, I don't know if it's delays so much as just more consternation in terms of getting it done in a timely manner. But it's also another aspect of, we didn't think we'd had to deal with this. We figured we'd work with the hospital because that entranceway is to the hospital. It's, just, I don't know if it's, I want to say, I forgot how many feet it is. It's really not a big deal.
No, it's
or
not.
It's not a long distance, which I'm questioning. Why just not convey it?
Because the city will be plowing that in the wintertime.
Well,
or not plowing it.
Or not.
But they will now. Well, they're not, but they'll have to, which doesn't make sense if you had conveyed Cornelia all the way up, being past the hospital property. Why not convey that strip, which I think is like, I want to say, I don't know, it's 79 feet maybe. Maybe that's the number.
Yeah,
I could be off on that. It's not very long. It makes no sense. It was part of the plan. The hospital was going to maintain it. We were going to maintain it simply because the garage is there, right on. It sits on the edge of it. It's just another.
Is it? Do you think it's a way for him to kind of? Boy, I just don't. I don't know.
I wouldn't, I get enough hot water sometimes because they say that I'm the problem. I mean, but, that I'm the difficult one in these cases. But here's an instance in which, this is another case in which.
Is it a negotiating chip?
I don't know. No idea. Yeah, there is, the argument from the city is that the police maintenance garage is there and they need access. No one was going to deny access.
It'd be a public entrance, right?
Absolutely. It'd still be a public, but in these cases in which it's the main entrance of the hospital system and of the garage, I really can't explain it. I guess I'm having difficulty with that.
One other thing, a farmer safety, is that the month of April as well?
It is. It's not the month of April, but we kicked it off the other day with the sheriff just to remind people that now that the weather is good and that our farmers are back to work in the fields and on the roadways, that people should be aware. Slow-moving vehicles with the emblems on, and we have signs throughout the county. Because we have 300 farms throughout this county that are spread out in all areas there's not an area that doesn't have one, with the exception even of the two cities, but they're pretty much on the outskirts. A lot of farms, a lot of farm equipment. Be on the lookout. Be prepared. Be careful, and be courteous.
County Executive Anthony Pacini, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I'll send you off on this. Darlene in Sequoia says the airline we were trying to think of with the deals last week was Breezes.
Breeze.
That is a Monday and Friday. You said maybe a Tuesday, Saturday. It's a Monday and Friday.
They tend to do that, yeah.
And then also Rudy in Loudville says the tour, who's our guy? Cat Scratch Fever. That's actually also the name of his final tour, is also
Ted
Cat Scratch Fever. Thank you.
Okay, very cool. County Executive, thank you.
Thank you.
Portions of the program brought to you by River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company. Here is River Hills, and it's all about the services they provide. Bill and Robin Monjo It's a different way of helping people sell their homes. And it lowers the stress level, which is incredibly important if you've ever been through selling or buying a home. The book, 40 to 100 pages, filled with everything there is to know about the home and the fact that the lockbox is never used. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. And that's a big deal. They make sure the lights are on, the house is ready to go. You're putting your best foot forward. Why wouldn't you list with River Hills? They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. WIBX Utica Rome, it's 9 o'clock.
House Republicans are in New York City. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, about to start a hearing focused on Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
Instead of focusing on what he should be doing, keeping bad guys off the streets, protecting people of this great city, he's focused on politics.
Judiciary Committee Jim Jordan tells Fox they'll hear from victims and families about rising crime, and the chairman blames that on progressive policies. He also called on Bragg to testify about the criminal charges he filed against former President Trump related to a pre-2016 election payment to keep alleged affairs quiet.
Using federal funds to indict a former president for no crime, and then when we want to talk with someone, he takes us to court. When we want to do our constitutional duty of oversight, he takes us to court.
Bragg claims Jordan is trying to intimidate him and has no right to interfere with his jurisdiction and Trump prosecution. Police in Dadeville, Alabama are asking people to come forward with information about Saturday night's shooting during a 16-year-old girl's birthday party at a dance studio that left 4 people dead, 28 injured. President Biden called it outrageous.
Then he called on Republicans in Congress to work with him on sensible gun reform that he says will save lives.
Fox's Charles Watson in Dadeville. American troops went on the attack today.
A helicopter raid in northern Syria has led to the, quote, probable death of an ISIS senior leader and 2 other, quote, armed individuals. According to U.S. Central Command, that ISIS leader was responsible for planning terror attacks in Europe and the Middle East.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. It's been 10 years since the terror attack in Boston, the bombings at the marathon finish line.
The hate that was brought into Boston that day was met by a more powerful force, which was the message of Martin Richard, our little 8-year-old from our neighborhood that was killed, whose message was peace.
First responder Ed Kelly's church has been renamed St. Martin's Parish. It's Marathon Monday again in Boston. More than 30,000 ready to take part, starting right now with the wheelchair racers. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're in the market for a new firearm, well, you're not going to do better than one made by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. And by the way, you're looking for something light and easy to transport, you got to check out their U.S. Survival Rifle. Now, you can take it apart, put it back together in seconds when you need to. It's compact, so you can carry it everywhere, only 3.5 pounds, just 16 inches when it's disassembled. Now, it comes in black and 3 types of camo, and it's affordable. You can pick one up from between $250 and $400, depending on the finish. And like all Henry firearms, they're made in the U.S., and they're backed by a lifetime satisfaction guarantee. As a matter of fact, you can watch a few video reviews. Just go to henryusa.com/survival. That's henryusa.com/survival. And while you're there, make sure you order your free catalog. You get free decals, over 200 models to choose from. You can't go wrong with any of them. henryusa.com. Get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. Check out the U.S. Survival Rifle.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
With 20 locations and originating locally, you're sure to find a Cliff's Local Market near you. Cliff's is your local convenience store and so much more. Did you know that our food is hand-cut by us and made fresh? We offer delicious breakfast sandwiches, pizza made with local homemade dough, and a large variety of tasty wraps, subs, and melts. Cliff's serves up a nice assortment of hot brewed Utica coffee and seasonal blends. Find a location near you at cliffslocalmarket.com. Support local. Cliff's Local Market. We keep you going.
Don't take chances with your brakes. Find out why Oriskany Garage is a top-rated destination for auto repair in the Utica area. Oriskany Garage delivers friendly professional service, great prices, and a commitment to never, never try to sell you something that you don't need. For brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience award-winning service at Oriskany Garage down the street from Utica College or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back. Up Singers.
Backup singers. So I order barbecue for a 20-person client meeting. Easy Cater calls and says, "Hi, Sarah, you probably need more food for that many people. Want us to add it for you?" Doing it for you. I say, "Yes, please." Yes. Turns out they were right. Good thing they asked, because Joyce's meeting notes can be pretty sassy when she's hungry. Look out.
Client meetings? Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on easycater.com and know.
We got your back.
Dear road rivals, let's talk about extra. Toyota offers tons of extra with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan good for 2 years or 25,000 miles. No-cost oil changes, no-cost tire rotations, no-cost fluid level adjustments, and more. That's a whole lot of